Book Bar. It's Tuesday night. That means we are live like we are every Tuesday, but not necessarily every Tuesday, a majority of every Tuesday. I'm Justin. With me, as always, is my brother Tyler. Tyler, what's happening tonight?
What's going on is I'm very excited that we're here as we are nearly every Tuesday, as you said. It's a
Vast majority of Tuesdays.
nearly a ritual that we do sometimes, when we're feeling it, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited, man. So we're going to talk. Are we going to talk just a Wheel of Time today? We're going to talk episodes 4, 5, and 6. I think was the plan. We could talk some other stuff. I know that 4, 5, and 6 definitely blew my skirt up a lot more than the first 3. I mean, that's for sure. Some more interesting things happened in these episodes. They did some things they had done in the first 3. I think a little bit better in these later episodes. So
I would agree. It gets better.
Yep. So.
But that doesn't mean I don't have my problems.
Well, and we can get into every one of those. Let's get into those nitty-gritty problems, man. What else? Are we going to talk about anything else? Do anything else tonight?
Well, you and I saw Spider-Man No Way Home this past
I saw it. You saw some of it.
I saw some of it. You saw all of it, I think, or most of it. We may have gone late at night after a day of drinking and may or may not have passed out at certain points during the movie.
Well, you're way older than me, so I think it's just like that was past your bedtime. You had to be up early for breakfast and bingo, and so you got a little nappy in during the movie. But me, bingo. I pushed through like the man that I am, and so I got to see the whole movie. We could talk about that. You could talk about what you saw, what you dreamed about during your long nap, all that kind of stuff.
I saw the opening credits, and then I saw the end. I saw what happened at the end, which I don't want to spoil it. This is not a Spider-Man video, so I don't want to spoil
the opening credits.
I'm not going to spoil it. It's a Marvel logo. So,
okay. Well, sorry, everybody. Just ruined it. My goodness. So, we can get into that. But first, I guess, what are you drinking, Jess? What are you drinking today?
Well, let's see. I've got with me my New Holland Tangerine Space Machine Hazy IPA. It's a good one. I love the hazy IPAs. And my wife got me this beer variety pack, which I may have told everyone about last week. And it's just a bunch of like random, cheap, crazy beers. So this one, it just says Bach.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's a Bach. Delicious. It says Bach. There is no name. There is no brewery. It's literally like, I think it's just like an Aldi version of a Bach. So I'm really looking forward to this one. This one's going to be really good.
We're going to have a spit take later in the show, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be good.
What about you? What do you got?
Well, I'm drinking a Strongbow today, and then I'm switching over to, and get this, you're going to love this.
Ooh, I'm going to love
this one here. Look at this one.
I'm very excited about this.
It's called a Boodlicht. A Boodlicht. So clearly I ran out of beer. And these were the only ones we had left because we had bought them for Carrie's dad. Because
I was just going to say, I assume they're for your wife's dad or brother.
Yep. It was for her dad. These are what were left. I ran out of beer and didn't realize it until just before stream. So I have one of Carrie's Strongbows, which those are pretty good. It's a cider beer. I don't typically drink, but they're at least tasty. Only have one though, and then I have to switch to these Boodlichts. So that's a little unfortunate, but hey, I'm going to power through because I'm a man of the people.
Well, that's good. And our stream tonight, as it is always, is brought to you by our favorite new sponsor. That's right, Big League Chewy. Tyler?
That's from Wookiee of the Year, Chewbacca, and it's available anywhere where tobacco products are marketed to children, so make sure to pick up some for your little tyke today.
Pretty much anywhere. Anywhere
means
is
anywhere.
Where you can get Big League Chewy. That's absolutely
exactly
right. Well, and just a reminder, thank you to all of our patrons, our Nerd Level 1, 2, and 3 supporters, whether you're watching live or on the replay. We appreciate it, especially our council member, Templar Pops. Thank you so much for all the support. If you are interested in supporting the channel, there is a link down in the description. Check it out. Let's just get right into the Wheel of Time, Tyler.
All right, let's dive into this thing. Let's do this thing.
Let's dive right in. So I think I'll introduce it. I'll read the intro, and then you go ahead and fire away. You ready?
Okay. So am I going to be interrupting you? How are we going to do this? Am I just going to stop you?
I'll read the intro, and then you feel free to take it away. Do you have it up to kind of scan through the scenes?
No. I'm just going to go off my noodle. I'm going to noodle this beast.
Okay, you're a noodle. All right. Well, you just take it away as soon as we're done with this. Here we go.
Okay.
The Wheel of Time, episode 4.
Let me stop you right there. So, all
Tyler,
right, continue.
Episode 4 is called The Dragon Reborn. Here's the summary. Moiraine is healed by the Aes Sedai and shown an imprisoned Loghain, held by the continual channeling of several Aes Sedai. Leandrin, what a bitch, and some Aes Sedai want to gentle Loghain, permanently severing his connection to the One Power. However, Moiraine believes that he might be the Dragon Reborn. Egwene and Perrin travel with the Tinkers, heading towards Tarvalen. We're going to talk about the Tinkers.
Yeah, we'll talk about them.
And Egwene learns that as part of the Way of the Leaf, they have vowed to never use violence. Well, that's nice. Also stupid. Rand, Matt, and Tom stay the night with the rural family. That's not good news for them. Tom tells Rand that he suspects that Matt may be able to wield the One Power. His suspicious behavior resembles that of Tom's nephew, Owen, a man who could channel but killed himself after being gentled by an Aes Sedai. That night, the family is killed by a Fade, we think, and Tom distracts it, allowing Rand and Matt to escape. Loghain's army of followers arrive just as Loghain uses the One Power to escape his imprisonment. Curry Nagashi of the Green Ajah is killed protecting Moiraine and Leandrin from Loghain's attack, while Lan's throat is slit. But Nynaeve is there to save the day as she heals Lan and the injured Aes Sedai through a stunning display of the One Power. Leandrin and the Aes Sedai then gentle Loghain. That is our episode summary for episode 4. Now let's break this thing down. Let's break this thing down, Tyler.
Yeah, so let's start with Loghain. Straight up wrecking fools in the beginning. And you know what gets me, Justin? He's doing it without the use of interpretive dance like Moiraine. He's just walking around using it like a badass.
Isn't that weird?
I believe this is what we were talking about in episode 1 and 2. Like what you don't need to pretend there's streamers on the end of your hands and draw all kinds of fun shapes with them while you're wielding your magic. Apparently you can just do it like any normal human being would do it, walking around like a badass while you're torching people. And it was nice to see, honestly. It was nice to see. And you're made to believe Loghain is he must be a bad guy, but he's ignoring those little shadow babies that are on his shoulders. I assume they came out of the snatch of the Red Woman.
The Red Woman from Game of Thrones. Absolutely.
Yes. I believe she had to have birthed both of them. And they were
that's how they're going to cross them over. Yep.
I'd watch that crossover. I mean, I'd watch it any day. But the thing is, is he doesn't listen to him. They're trying to get him to do all these bad things, and he acts as if he's bigger than that. What did you make of that scene?
Yeah, I think it's meant to confuse the audience. And we're in spoiler. This is pure spoiler talk. We're going to speculate. We're going to talk about all kinds of nonsense.
Spoilers.
So yeah, spoilers. Beware. So yeah, I think that was clearly meant to throw everyone off, because I think initially everyone might have thought Loghain is just a false dragon. They call him the false dragon, but then you see him do that. You see with the badass scene, and then you see him with the like you said, the shadow babies on his shoulder. But then he doesn't kill the guy, because he's going to use the power for good. And maybe I think we're just trying to make the audience think maybe he is the dragon.
Yeah, this is called the Kansas City Shuffle, just so they look over there and you move over there, right? The old Kansas City Shuffle, used in Lucky Number 11, starring Bruce Willis. Wonderful movie if you ever get a chance. But yeah, so it's a bit of misdirection is what I'm driving at there. And I mean, it worked wonders, right? I think someone who hasn't read the book, I mean, that might make you think, oh, is he the dragon? Is he not? Of course, us book readers, snooty as we are, sitting on our clouds, handing out judgment to all the little people. We knew, of course, that he was not the dragon. He was a false dragon, and only didn't butcher that dude because he thought it would be useful for him not to. That was it, not out of the goodness of his heart. He just thought the shadow babies weren't playing the game enough. But nonetheless, an interesting scene. Liked it. Maybe you like Loghain's character a little bit. But now we see... so then what happens? How they eventually they catch him, right? They catch him, and we see him like caged, right? And they're all using his powers to the Aes Sedai using their powers to like keep him contained. Yeah, I think one of them talks about it's like drowning a cat or some shit, right? And they're like it's like holding a cat underwater and just drowning it. Like how invigorated you get and how exciting that is.
Yeah, I know it's super exciting.
Yeah, just watch the life just fade from their eyes. I'm like, God,
every time I do that, the rest of the day I feel great.
I know, it's just it gives you that little that little bop in your step while you're walking. And whenever I see people just kind of strutting down the street, I'm like, they just killed a cat. Like you can tell,
killed a cat.
it really, really shows when people just, when they're glowing. It's like a pregnant woman and cat killers. Those two people, they just emanate just positive energy everywhere. So yes, anyway, they say it's like killing a cat or something. It's very tough. There's a lot of squirming going on, but they're holding it together. They're holding him in there. And one thing was his cage really reminded me of. Have you ever seen the movie The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy? You ever see this movie?
Yes.
Yeah, it was
a long time ago with like the little monk kid or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
I think he was Tibetan because the movie came out in like 1986 or something. So this baby's old. So this would have been when you were probably 40 or 50. So
yeah,
it was
I was in my late 30s. Yeah.
Late 30s, but so this was a long time ago. But yes, it's about like this little Tibetan boy and these like evil villains capture him. They're going to use him for some kind of evil, as evil villains do, right?
Evil
yeah.
stuff.
But so they got him in a cage. Looks very much like Loghain's cage. And the Tibetan boy is also in this movie. He's also like sitting cross-legged and is just always meditating, totally calm while the evil stuff is happening around him, just like Loghain is.
Sure.
And so the whole time I'm like, oh my God, like, wouldn't it be great if just like in that movie, he like crushes a pop can and like makes it dance around with a top hat and everything, a little cane. One of the best scenes from that movie. And really disappointed they didn't do the callback to the Golden Child with that. Instead, he just sits there like an idiot for most of the episode. So
yeah,
a little disappointed there.
Yeah, it was an opportunity. Cut. Yeah, it was an opportunity missed. Opportunity missed.
But the thing is the Golden Child fan base is small but loyal, and so I think throwing them a bone would have been worth it. But alas, they missed their opportunity. So opportunity missed. But the show goes on. No Coke can dancing. What can you do? What happens next? Just we see.
I think we meet the Tinkers. Is that where we meet the Tinkers? Where Perrin and Egwene.
Those are carnies. You mean the carnies?
The car. Well, that's Tinkers is just the Eye of the World's version of carnies.
Carny folk.
Yeah.
Yep. They all smell like cabbage. They're like hippies who join the circus. It absolutely. So Perrin's walking with the carnies. He clearly has some PTSD when thinking about the very recent murder of his lover. That he did with the old whoopsie daisy.
the murder he did.
Yeah, he did a murder.
He did a murder. That's no good.
He just kind of did a murder, ran away. Wasn't just any murder, too. I mean, this was his lover that he killed. And then he's just kind of, walking with the carnies, and it's starting to, he's probably smoking a little bit of that devil's cabbage. It's getting him thinking, getting the blood flowing, and he's realizing like, oh shit, like I killed the woman that I loved. With an axe, like not that long ago, and it's starting to get to him a little bit. He's getting
it was very emotional. Recent.
Yeah. I mean, it was super super recent. Now someone like you, a cat killer, you'd get over that in no time, right? I mean, you'd beat over it in a day or two. But Perrin,
not worried about it at all.
No, but Perrin's a guy. He's got deep emotional roots. You know what I mean? That he still can feel that just slightly, though. I mean, we're not going to really think about it too much. But he just does get a little choked up. Yeah, a little choked up. But then what do? We go meet Tom Marlin.
We see old Tom Marlin.
We see Tom Marlin again. The Gleeman. Again, still no juggling from Tom.
No juggling yet. And isn't it weird that when they go, they find this family, and you've got Tom Marlin, Rand, and Matt. And yet they are straight up surrounded and punked by a family of farmers. Like, it's not just dad that sneaks up and gets them, but it's the kids, right? And I think is mom there too? Like the whole family, or was it just the kids? Was it dad and then the two kids? Like they just get totally trapped and cornered by a farmer family, which I thought was a little odd. But but that family's going to pay for that. Oh, they're going to pay.
Playing from Carrie's iPhone.
What is that? Oh, hold on. I'm pretty sure my wife's phone is now playing from our tablet in the other room.
Okay.
Oh, and it's
disconnected from Carrie's iPhone.
And there it goes. All right. Pardon the interruption there. Just some technical difficulties. We're working out the kinks. We'll be just fine. But Tom Marlin, they get bested by a bunch of farm folk. Not the best look. But now now this is a bit interesting. Just get this right.
I'm ready for this. Bach.
So Tom Maryland, he tells a story about his nephew, right, who starts losing
Owen.
his mind. Yep, and starts like snapping at everyone. And then get this, just he throws a rock without using his hands. And so I hear that, and I'm like, okay, so the guy throws a rock with his penis. Like, we can all do that. Like, who cares? But then he goes on to say,
not suspicious at all.
right, like, okay, I throw rocks with my penis all the time, right? Like, you don't have to throw rocks with your hands. Not that big of a exactly.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's a much longer motion. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Right. It's more like a trebuchet.
There's a lot. There's a lot of whip there, huh? There's a lot of whip there.
You know, I know yours is like just a little tiny like slingshot. You got to move very quick, right? But for me, I gotta get that thing going. It takes it's like trying to move a big gigantic chain. You know, like it takes a few big motions before I can really throw it. But you know, that's me. But so then he says that there's nothing more dangerous than a man who knows the past. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, we don't all live in fear of history professors. And I can think of a lot more dangerous things than knowing the past. Scissors, Justin, knives.
Scissors are very dangerous.
Swords, guns,
weapons of any kind.
Grenade launchers, right? Rearranging my sock drawer is more dangerous than just knowing the past. So I don't know, man. Tom
the
is
mall around the holidays. That's not.
Oh my god! People have been trampled to death in that
Walmart.
Time. Like,
that's
terrible.
Dangerous. Yes,
exactly. That's dangerous. Knowing the past, knowing the past is good sense. It's not dangerous. My God, Tom. And so, like, he's getting the drop on him from farmers. He's talking about his nephew throwing rocks with his dick. He's talking nonsense about knowing the past being super dangerous. I don't know what Tom's deal is. Not feeling it. Again, no card tricks whatsoever. Didn't even saw a lady in half or anything like that. Very disappointed with his character is all I'm getting at.
Okay.
Yeah, but so then just what do we move to? Gwaine is talking to one of the carnies about finding a song, right? Don't they talk about what are the carnies trying to do? They're trying to look for like a song to unite the world or something.
Yes, and I barely remember that. So
I remember just thinking that, like, isn't that the plot of Bill and Ted's like Excellent Adventure or something, right? Wasn't their job as kind of all of them? Isn't that the thread that's woven through the Bill and Ted franchise? Is they're supposed to like write a song that unites the world or some stuff? I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah.
And remember, Bill and Ted do travel throughout time. And so I'm just saying, don't be shocked if we see Bill and Ted make an appearance in this show.
Yes.
But yeah, that's about all. I mean, the carnies don't really do a lot in this. Anything else?
They do a little more in the next episode, but we'll talk about that soon.
Oh well, do they? I don't know that they do,
but it's worth talking about though.
Right. I think one of the carnies talks about how her daughter was killed. I think by somebody. Was it the children or someone else?
I think so.
She talks about how like she knew that her daughter was hunted for sport. Wasn't sure how she knew that, but she said that she knew that, and that's about it. That's the only backstory I think we get on her. But yeah, I don't know. Then what do we move to next? I think.
Well, I think we're with Tom and Rand and Matt still, right? And so that night, of course, right? We find Matt in the one house. I think it's the farm people's house, and he's staring up into the shadows. We find we're going to find the family dead. Yep. And Matt very creepily is staring up into a shadow with the dark, whatever it is. I don't know if that's Majin Shin or if it's the dark one, whatever it is. It's just some evil thing coming out of his mouth. Mm-hmm. And he, for some reason, can see the fade. And I was not totally clear on like what's happening. It's like, is Matt helping? Is he like giving the fade away?
Well,
like, is he like
he's the father of the bride? Well, he's giving the fade away. All right. This is a very special moment for the fade.
Today's the fade's day. Yeah.
Today's the fade's day. Yeah.
But I mean, like, I was like, I don't get it. Is he still himself? But because he's kind of corrupted, he can like see the darkness. And so he's sort of just pointing out where the fade is. Because otherwise it seems like if he was linked to the fade, he wouldn't tell everyone where the fade was. Anyways.
Yeah.
Then Lord Voldemort attacks.
Voldemort does attack. Yeah, because he can't take over that school, so he's moved on to Barnes. Because
Yes.
he's like, he can't go up from there. He's got to go down.
He can take over a barn because he sure as shit can't take over a school. He can't do
No,
it.
one little school.
No,
he can't
I
take over.
always see those comparisons where it's like Darth Vader ruled an entire galaxy,
Right.
and Lord Voldemort couldn't even take over a
Right.
school. But
Exactly.
Yeah, so,
Yeah. Not that powerful. But I guess Harry Potter kind of written for children. From the children's perspective, I'm sure Voldemort seems really powerful. But you compare him to the Emperor, and he's small potatoes. And so now he's moved on to Barnes. He's still struggling, even with the Barnes. I mean, like he's still having to fight. So God, I don't know. Maybe he needs to think of other spells, or I mean, what can Voldemort do to just be a little bit better at his job and like sowing evil, taking things over? Because I mean, I got to tell you right now, it's pretty pathetic, to be honest.
Well, I think you don't yell before you attack. I just think there's certain things he could do, but they escape, random mad escape, and Tom stays behind like he does in the books. Of course, it's not at a farmer's house. I think they're in Camelin. Are they in Camelin when Tom stays behind?
That sounds about right. Sure, we'll buy it.
I think they're in Camelin, and so of course has been entirely cut out of the show, at least for now. Maybe they'll go there at some point in the future, but. So they get away and they run away. We see the dead child and we wonder if Matt killed the child or not.
And I don't know. I think that's still an open question.
I think he did. I think he
might
did.
have.
I think that's part of what his character is going to have to try to overcome is the fact that he did that, but he wasn't himself. And he did that under the influence of something. He's going to have to learn to forgive himself, essentially. For it.
I think, especially with old Barney Trouble leaving the show, I think now it's almost a certainty that they'll say that he killed him, because that gives him an excuse to do what he does in later episodes that we'll talk about very shortly here. So now I think it's pretty inevitable that they're going to say that he killed him. Whereas, it's not so clear initially. But that whole situation with him leaving, very mysterious, Justin, very mysterious. Still just no word on what the heck happened.
There's nothing. Some people say that he thought he left for his mental health and dropped social media and just went away.
Act again. I mean, that's the end of his career. You don't leave a show that's spending $10 million an episode just abruptly, such that they have to recast when it's the most popular show on a very new streaming network, and find work again. Right. He's if he ever wants to act again, he's fucked. I mean, there's
it's
no
going to take a long time, and he's going to have to do a lot of bit parts and small roles, and it's
climb up a lot of sweaty, greasy little rungs.
It's a shame because I don't know what you think. Honestly, I think he's been the best of anyone.
He was really good
acting wise. And so
it's really too bad. I was really liking his character. Could have been a really interesting turnaround for him. So it's too bad, man. But what can you do? The wheel continues to turn, and the wheel weaves as the wheel wills. So what happens next, is we start to get the full brunt of Logain's power, right?
Yes. So Logain's army attacks.
Yep.
Right? Tries to free him.
Yep.
So, and what's happened? Oh, that's right. So the one Aja is killed, right? So is it, what is her name? Her name is Kareen.
I believe it was Aes Sedai number 3.
Aes Sedai 3 in the credits was her name.
Yep.
So Kareen, the green Aja, she gets killed. And
she does.
So her warder, Steppen, goes into a rage and is devastated and ends up trying to kill Logain while everyone is pinning him down. Mm-hmm. And he kind of does he reminded me what superhero, or kind of like the flying double axe. It kind of reminded me maybe of I don't know if it was Thor when he was fighting, or maybe it was Hulk when he was fighting Thor in Ragnarok, how he's does the full double axe jump. Swing,
I mean, it's kind of it's such a common move in so many things. I mean, that kind of normal jumping move, I remember seeing in Pitch Black with the great Vin Diesel, now made famous from the Fast and the Furious movies. I think Fast and the Furious 62 is coming out next week, and then 63 the following week. So make sure to stick around for that.
It's all about family.
It's all about family, because family is the most powerful thing When you got family, you don't need nothing else. But so, I really like a lot about this battle scene. This is actually, to me, one of the cooler parts of the show. Really liked it. Only thing I didn't like, so, I like how Logain, they were talking about how hard it was, like how much it's draining him to try to hold his power in, and he's just sitting there totally calm. And then the minute he feels them just weaken even the slightest bit because their attention is drawn from his army attacking, boom, that's when he explodes everything and throws them out.
That's after Stepan puts the axes through.
Well, no, that was the first time. Stefan puts the axes through later. Right, because then when Logain initially breaks out, that's when they're killed, and
that's when he kills the Ajah.
Exactly, but then they capture him again. Then he goes to kill him, gives him an opportunity to break out again. But this is the thing I kind of didn't like. It's like Logain literally broke out of this thing, this prison that was being created for him from all the ladies, and it breaks out twice. And like that's his opportunity. He could just torch fools if he's strong enough to break out when they have full control, like putting him in a cage. Then he could have just broken out and then just used his magic to just like slice off all their heads or do whatever he's going to do, right? And instead, he just kind of sits there and just like walks over and starts talking to Moraine and then does some business. And then he like gets captured again, breaks out, and then what does he do? He's just like admiring that Egwene or Nynaeve is really powerful, rather. And it's like, that. Come on. The minute he breaks out of jail, he's just kind of like just walking steadily around. Like, no, man, that you break out, that's when you're going to be using even more power, right? Just explode shit, devastate stuff if you really wanted to escape. So that felt a little unbelievable. I can deal with the magic, but come on. But if you break out of the jail, Justin, you're going to be doing a lot more than just kind of, chit-chatting like he kept doing. It's breaks free,
I hate
he chit-chats. He breaks free, he chit-chats. Like, come on.
I know. There's those scenes where it's like they slow it down for the movie so that they can get a point across in a moment where the other person is waiting irrationally.
Right. And that's exactly what he was doing, yeah.
And I mean, like, it reminded me of the Thanos and Iron Man battle in Infinity War where they're fighting. And I think at one point, Iron Man like pins his gauntlet down, creates the gigantic hammer, hits him in the face, right?
Yeah.
But then like they stop. And like Thanos is like, all that for a drop of blood? And Iron Man's just staring at him. And then he flips Iron Man. And it's like, Iron Man just hit him in the face.
Just keep
and
hitting him.
Why would we think he would just like stop and be like, well, what do you got to say?
It's
It's like it doesn't make sense. Somebody's got to pin somebody down. Right. He's got to like at least pin him down or something like it's silly. So yeah, you're right.
Keep hitting it. You made him bleed, right? That means he bleeds. Keep hitting him in that spot. Turn it into a bigger cut.
Or maybe you try to hit him again and he grabs your fist and then he says it and punches you back or something. I don't know.
Poke him in the eyes. Fish hook him. I don't know what we did. No fish. Just fish hook him right in the mouth. I mean, like that. Right, like a screech. Right?
And then Thanos would be like, ha! Boom! Block!
And like Iron Man puts his fist out and then Thanos hits it and he whoop, boop, just nails him right on the head. God, we could have made that fight so much better if they
it would have been so much more entertaining if we were in charge there. So but the whole point of that is right. So he blasts out and boom, all the axe pieces go flying. They hurt people. It slits Lan's throat. He falls down. He's dying.
I know. He gets made a fool of again, man. He's getting bested a lot.
Lan used to be a baller. And so now Nynaeve comes running in. Okay. And for some reason, she loves Lan. It's like, it's one of those. Yeah. I love Lan. And so... And so, well, why do you love Lan? I love Lan.
And, like, Nynaeve, are you just looking around the room and saying that you love things?
I love Lan. And so she runs in. But here's what I don't get about Nynaeve is they say that like Nynaeve needs to be angry, or that's kind of the thing in the books, and they're kind of trying to show it in the show that when she's angry, she becomes very powerful. Mm-hmm. But am I the only one that finds it weird that she walks in and she's like, "No, I'm so angry. I'm going to heal everyone."
Right.
Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm angry and it creates this big burst of energy. And she's like, everyone feel better.
You're right.
Like that. Yep. That's her anger power. Does that seem weird for an anger power?
It does, especially given that, she just kind of seems angry all the time. Her angry power is mass healing. Wow, I never thought about it that way, but that is absolutely insane. And so, and then what happens just is...
And Logain's just chilling.
Yep, Loghain's just chilling. He's just sitting there. He's just chit-chatting. He's just enjoying the view. Again, could he escape? Sure. Could he use his powers then to murder everybody? Yeah, absolutely. But he's not going to because he's enjoying the show. She's so bright and beautiful in that moment.
He's a good villain.
Yeah, he's a good villain. He waits his turn. It's just like the villains in action movies who will wait their turn to attack the villain one by one to make sure that it's a fair fight. It wouldn't be fair if they just all swarmed him at once. So you go in a single file line, you take them on one at a time. Loghain understands these rules of good guys and villains, heroes and villains.
Yes, and so he pays for it.
And he pays for it as villains do. They have to get what's coming to them because they're not being very nice dudes. And so what does the red woman do? She cuts his balls off, man. She full on neuters that
castrates him from the one power.
God,
now, what did you think of the manifestation in the show of being gentled?
Like them ripping his humors out, the goo venom, like almost separating him from venom.
Yeah, that was basically what it seemed like to me. Like they were pulling venom out of him, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was fine. I didn't really love the link up scene, but there were a few scenes with their use of magic that I did think that they executed a lot better than the early episodes.
But still, too much hand motion. Too much hand motion from the Aes Sedai. Why? Why are I don't have enough room here to do it. Last time I was doing this, I remember I was knocking the mic over and ripping my headphones off.
Yep.
But it's like, they were like, whoa, and then they're
especially
like,
in their
ooh, and then they're like, ooh, and then next thing you know, venom starts coming out. But it's like just way too much crazy. Yeah. Why are they doing that? It seems so silly. Like he said,
But and that's the thing is Loghain doesn't have to do that. He can just walk around and do it.
He just walks around like a badass, like we were talking about how it should go.
Now, in a later episode, they do talk about, they do that for, it's a crutch. You don't actually have to do that. Well, then stop.
Stop.
Goodness. Then stop doing it. My God damn it is right.
Damn it.
Oh, but anyway, so that happens. They castrate him, and that's pretty, I think that's how it ends, right? They castrate him.
That's it. Loghain is gentled. He has been castrated from the one power.
Lan is
they
dead.
ain't supposed
but
to
he
do
was
that.
healed. He was healed in a fit of rage.
He was healed in a fit of rage.
So he's fine. And that's it. We move on. We lost one particular Aes Sedai no one really cared about. And so no real stakes or anything like that. But hey, the action sequence was a lot better.
And you know what? Let's end with this. Here's what I was thinking. When this episode ended, I thought, you know what I hope they do in the next episode? Spend way too much time talking about the death of that Aes Sedai that I don't know. And I hope they really focus on that made up warder character who wasn't in the book. I really want to know a lot about him. Well, that's what I thought.
Are you in for a treat? Because we're about to talk about episode 5 next. I
can't wait.
I'm going to be so excited about it. Because that is exactly what happens. That is exactly what happens. But hey, we'll have to save that for next time.
That's right, we will. Oh man, so that's gonna be an episode 4 wrap. So let's change this to episode 5.
Binge The Witcher today. Now, Templar, did you only watch season 1 or have you watched season 2 yet? I haven't seen season 2, but yeah, season 1. There's no making sense of it.
Nope.
They based it off of the first book called The Last Wish, which is actually a good book, but it's a collection of like short stories about
which are told sporadically throughout the book.
Yeah, it's supposed to just be like a collection of short stories, and it's good. It's actually a really interesting book that just kind of jumps all over because they're just short stories. And then they make this show off of that, but they don't decide to tell a narrative. They actually just decide to kind of follow loosely the short stories in the book and jump all over. But they also made sure not to tell the audience that that's what they were doing.
Right.
they just like jumped around. It's astonishing that they decided to do it the way that they did it. I mean,
we said that because Tyler and I watched The Last Wish in preparation for The Witcher because we heard it was going to be based on The Last Wish and it was the short stories. And we're like, okay, well, maybe each episode is its own little short story as like an introduction to The Witcher and various characters.
Yeah.
But they kind of did it the same way and they jumped around so much that we were both like, we never knew what was going on. Even though we read the book, we barely could remember. I didn't know any characters. I couldn't remember who was who. It jumped around to the point where I was just like, I have no idea what this is, what they're doing. They're telling a terrible story. It's not linear in any fashion. And it was, I was so hyped for it, and
Yeah, me
then
too.
I don't even know if I watched the last episode. I was just so disappointed in it.
I know, it was a big bummer. What a waste of old chisel chin Henry Cavill. Oh God, just
It's
too
gonna
bad.
be
'Cause
hard for me to get into season 2.
I know. I like. There's no hype in me for it. I mean, it can't get much worse, is the thing. So, like, I would imagine season 2 will be better, just because season 1 was so bad. Um, but yeah, it's hard to be excited about a show that just, man, it never found its footing. Was all over the place. Just too bad. I mean, look at it. Was so bad. Justin just up and left. He can't even take it. He's probably puking in the other room just thinking about the horrors of that show. Justin, are you okay? Did you empty your stomach just thinking about season 1 of The Witcher?
Yeah, it's so bad. No, I actually had my little space heater on down here, and I forgot about it. Sometimes it picks it up on the mic, and it was starting to get hot. So
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. All right, we ready? Let's move right along. Here we go. The Wheel of Time, episode 5. Tyler, the Wheel of Time, episode 5 is called Blood Calls Blood. Shall I recap?
Please do.
Okay. Tyler, the Aes Sedai and Moiraine bury Kareen, the green Ajah that you and I came to know and love in the previous episode.
Tragic loss.
And the soldiers who attempted to rescue Logain. Lan, Moiraine, Nynaeve, and the Aes Sedai travel to Tarvalen. Not Tarvalon, as the show has decided to call it, because I've listened to the audiobooks and have been calling it Tarvalon for years. And the White Tower for a month. Moiraine warns Nynaeve of the Aes Sedai's political machinations. The White Cloaks waylay Perrin, Egwene, and the Tinkers. I can't wait to talk about that one. With Aram's help, Perrin and Egwene escape, but are captured by Aemon Valda. Valda suspects Egwene can channel. He tortures Perrin to force Egwene to use the One Power. Egwene and Perrin escape when wolves attack the camp. Perrin and the wolves seem connected. Rand and Matt arrive at Tarvalen, where Rand is disturbed by Matt's odd behavior. Rand meets Loial and Ogier, who notes that Rand looks like an Aiel. Loial helps Nynaeve reunite with Matt and Rand. Logain is paraded around Tarvalen, laughing madly when he notices Rand and Matt watching. Lan and the other warders console Steppen, Kareen's warder, for a very long time. Moiraine and Alana discuss Steppen's mental state and whether or not he should join a, what was it, like a homosexual 4-way is kind of what they were talking about him joining.
Yeah, I thought it was a 3-way, but 4-way maybe 2. Yeah, but it was something like that. Yep.
Yeah. And Alana warns Moiraine of both Leandrin's motives and the impending return of Siouan Sanche. The following morning, Lan finds Steppen dead by suicide. Lan serves as the primary mourner at Steppen's funeral and is overcome with grief. We're definitely going to talk about that as well. But let's start with the cold open, which is a young girl in a fishing little fishing hut.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. So wait, is that one?
I believe so.
No, that's episode 6.
No, is it? What am I talking about?
My God, did you do this last time? Do you even know what you're doing over there? My gosh.
You're right. It's the Flame of Tarvalen is the one. So
she's Louise.
Is there a cold open in this episode?
Well, I think the first thing we see is the Aes Sedai that died that we all like really cared about and really knew a lot about, and so it's a really emotional loss. We see her warder, who we also know very well, looting her body, stealing stuff from her. I think he takes her ring. I think he found like a half a bag of Skittles in her pocket or something.
Took her watch.
He takes the watch. It was a knockoff Rolex, but he could probably still get something. I mean, I don't blame the guy. He's out of the job, right? So he's got to pawn this shit. He's got to make money somehow, right?
He's got to make money.
You're right. I mean, it's not like he can be a warder again. His Aes Sedai is dead, right? What are you going to put that on your resume? No.
Yeah, I guarded an Aes Sedai and she got killed.
Yeah, right. Like that, she did. So so he was looting the body, but I mean, I think we can all understand. Sometimes tough times call for some kind of harsh measures. But then after that, I think we jumped to like a month later. And one thing that we mentioned, so they're all just kind of like on the trail. Nothing's happened for the last month, so they jump to things that are really happening. They're just riding on horses. They're just kind of talking. So we think this is a good time to jump back in a month later. We find out Lan says Nynaeve and him aren't talking. Definitely appears to be a lot of sexual energy between them. And I find this very hard to believe. that they're not talking. I mean, I think it's pretty much safe to assume at this point that Justin, much like Will Smith and his 1997 debut solo album, Big Willie Style, they're getting jiggy with it.
You think so? I love Lamb. I love Lamb.
Love Lamb.
I
Right.
love
So I just have to assume they're bumping uglies because they have just established such an emotional, deep rapport for one another.
Yes.
Because
There's so much character building, so many character
Yeah.
building moments in the show.
yeah,
Yes. So obviously, I assume this episode we're going to learn so much about the Emmons Field Five. We're going to learn about Rand and Matt and
Yeah.
Perrin. We're going to learn about
wait.
Nynaeve and Egwene. We're going to really focus on Moiraine.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the main characters.
Actually, it doesn't really happen at all. One thing that does happen though, just kid runs into Matt. And like Matt gets really snappy with him because that kid was a little bastard. They just like ran into him in an open field.
I know. What a bitch.
And we're supposed to be, I think, made to think like, oh, Matt's really flying off the hand. There's literally nothing around. There's nothing around. They're in a field. It's not like they're in a hallway, right? Where the kid is kind of weaving to maybe get out from the way someone else and bumps into. They're in a field. The kid like ran directly at him and ran into him.
What's Matt supposed to
Matt,
do?
Like pushes him away. And the kid's a little bastard. I mean, he's like that little kid in A League of Their Own, going down the aisles, just slapping people in the back.
Stillwell
of the head.
Angel.
Stillwell Angel.
You're
That's him.
Gonna lose.
He's got
I love that
chocolate
when
all over his
he
face.
throws the glove and hits him in the face at the end. The kid stumbles and then he falls.
Right.
And he's like, I got him.
See, but that's the thing. That's Matt right there.
But we
See?
laugh when Jimmy Dugan does it.
Exactly.
Why?
And when Jimmy
Because
and
he's
do we
played by
think
Tom Hanks?
Right. And do we think Jimmy Dugan is the bad guy because he finally shut that little brat up? No, that kid was a brat, and this kid is a brat too. And so Matt did nothing wrong. I don't see any problems
We
here.
will defend
Clearly,
Matt to the death on that particular issue.
absolutely,
Yes.
we will. And so that's it. Now I think we see Tar. How do they pronounce it? Tarvalen.
Well, they say Tarvalen.
They say Tarvalen.
In the audiobooks, they say Tarvalen.
And so we see Tarvalen and
Tarvalen.
Tarvalen. And I got to tell you,
Tarvalen.
I see
Tarvalen.
that place, gorgeous, right? But then all I could think about was the property values have to be absolutely insane there. I mean, beautiful property. I mean, great views, everything. Just
location.
I can't even imagine how much it would cost to buy some real estate there. I have picked up a small little lot though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm thinking about building on it. Just a little tiny, maybe like a duplex, start renting it out or something. It's a little more on the outskirts. It's a bit of a fixer-upper. But
they call that house hacking. That's a good idea. You could live in one rent out the upper level.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so that's
smart.
So I'm going to try that. But like right in the heart of the city, oh my God. I mean, you're talking 300,000-400,000 rupees, or I don't know what they deal in there. What do they deal with?
Rupees?
Rupees.
Is that from The Legend of Zelda?
Some kind of coin, I'm sure, something like that. But yeah, so they go there, Rand eats something that's randomly handed to him in the streets. I assume that lady handed him soap because he was looking pretty dirty and he just bit into it because he's an idiot. But maybe he's an idiot. We don't really know much about Rand at this point. Haven't really done anything with his character as of yet.
No.
So yeah, I don't know. Don't really do anything there. Then we jump to the children, right? We go to the children of the light. We see what's his name, Eamon Valda, the guy who ate the blowfish or whatever it was earlier in an earlier
the chicken with the bones, the little baby chicken with the bones, or whatever it was.
Yeah, and
with the bones.
This is one of my favorite parts of the whole episode, right? So Eamon Valda stops the hippies, right? So the carnies,
the tankers,
tankers, the carnies, whatever you want to call them, the traveling circus carnies,
same thing.
Whatever, circus folk, whatever. And so he's like, how do you plan on stopping me? And so they lock arms and form a hippie drum circle. Like that's going to do absolutely anything. And to show you how little it does, they don't just get out swords or weapons to slaughter them. They just go on a bitch slapping spree. just bitch slap all of them out of the way. It was just the funniest thing I had ever seen in my entire life. They form a little hippie drum circle and he just starts bitch slapping them all. I'm like, oh my God.
Perrin and Egwene are like, we're out of here.
What did they think was going to happen? That was really the best case scenario because he could have just slaughtered them all right there. And really nice of him just to go slapping them.
I thought it'd been so much funnier if Valda and the White Cloaks, after they locked arms, if they were like, thwarted again.
They like try to walk through it, and they're just
like,
like, "What the hell?" Like, hey, God, unlock your arms,
just-
guys. Wait, I see them right. They're getting away. Just unlock your arms, God.
Someone. Damn it.
What?
Damn you, arm locking.
Somehow they make it through the locked arms. And Eamon was just having nothing of their Birkenstocks and their fish t-shirts and their hacky sacks. Just bitch slapped them all.
They're kind, bud.
They're kind, bud. Exactly. He was having absolutely none of it. And then so they start running. So, Perrin and Egwene, they take off with one of the other carnies. And then this is another thing. Then somehow, Justin, a horse came quietly out of nowhere at a full gallop. Yes. And they just don't hear it at all.
Caught him by surprise.
And knocks the hippie over. Like, seriously, it was a horse at a full gallop that they just, there's no sound.
Easy explanation. Movie magic. That's all it is.
Oh.
That's movie magic. Yeah.
Oh, so it was the movie casting magical spells over these horses to make sure that there was absolutely no sound whatsoever. That a fully galloping, full-sized horse just totally caught them by surprise. And
Tyler, question for you. Yeah, you've seen Jurassic Park, right? Steven Spielberg.
I've heard of it.
Now you know that when the T-Rex is within 100 yards, that typically you hear a smash, you feel a vibration, everything around you vibrates.
Water ripples, yes.
Water ripples. And that final scene when the T-Rex swipes the raptor out from inside a building that the T-Rex was not in.
Yeah.
Didn't you find it a little surprising that there was not a single sound, a single vibration, a single footprint? He didn't come burling through the door, that all of a sudden there was a T-Rex there. You know how? How did that happen, Tyler?
You ignorant slut, Justin. The reason why, you clearly know nothing about dinosaurs and how they hunt. The T-Rex is an expert hunter, Justin.
Okay.
So when the T-Rex is in hunting mode, it'll walk on the sides of its soles so that it can walk very quietly. And they're known for their sneakiness, Justin. So like when they're stalking their prey, he's walking on the sides. He's almost like a rolling action.
And our hero saw him, and the T-Rex, he was like, shh.
Right. Well, he had to do it kind of down here, it was a shh, because he can't get it at because he's got short arms. But yeah, that's it. So now horses have no such ability, Justin. They are not T-Rexes. They cannot stalk prey with the adroitness of a T-Rex. Okay, and the stealth of a T-Rex. So just not buying it for one bit. But so anyway, we have that happen. Then what do we do? We meet an ogre or an ogier. An ogier.
Yes.
It's like an ogre, only it's said differently.
Only the special effects are much worse.
Oh my God. This has to be the worst looking thing in the entire show.
Absolutely terrible. I loved Lowile's character in the books. He's just that bumbling guy who just can't shut up. He's the know-it-all. He's got to talk. He takes forever to do everything. But he's just like a great character. He's a great exposition dump character. That's basically what Lowile serves in the books. Yeah. He's the exposition dump. That's what he does. Exactly. But then when you meet him, oh my God. And he turned around. So Rand sees him and he turns around, and I was like,
scariest thing in the show. Like we've had dreams where we apparently see the Dark One with flaming eyes, and I'm like, meh. I see this Ogier turn over, and I'm like, Jesus, oh my God. I mean, he did not look like anything like they described in the book. Wasn't he supposed to be gigantic?
Well, he's supposed to be like 10 feet tall, but they were. I mean, obviously, you're going to have him played by a regular actor, and so it's like I knew, but they didn't even get a guy that's that big.
That's what I mean.
You could have got a guy like they got the Mountain to play the Mountain in Game of Thrones. Like, go get somebody who's like 7 feet tall at least. Get the Big Show to come in there and play Lowile, right?
Put him on, get some platform shoes on him to make him even taller as well.
Instead, they give him these dumb like elf shoes that curl at the tip, so when he walks, it looks so stupid. Oh,
it looks terrible. And,
now, that being said, he looks terrible. He acts just like Lowile. Like,
he does. That is fine. Yeah,
the actor does a good job like sounding like him, like
Yep.
talking and trailing off in the background while everyone's like ignoring him. Like
Right,
he does,
yep.
he does a great job
He
of
does do
that.
that just fine.
But
But
the
yeah,
look, the makeup,
I know.
oh,
Like,
oh
my
boy.
God. I
Could you
mean,
imagine Game of Thrones having a character look that silly? Like
right.
just there's no way they would do it ever.
Painful, man. I mean,
Yep.
Eddie Murphy in like The Nutty Professor came out like a million years ago, and like that makeup looked
It was
far
better.
better. Like,
It was
how
better.
is it that again in 2020, soon to be 2022, the makeup looks so freaking horrible, and you pick someone that's the same size. And honestly, like The Nutty Professor, he's learned, he's kind, right,
Mhm.
funny. Maybe
Sure.
that's what they were going for. It was a bit of a Nutty Professor thing, and they just took it a little too far. Made him look a little too much like the Nutty Professor, and nothing like the character he's supposed to be. But to your point though, at least he acts like the character.
The
They do a
actor
good
portrayed
job.
him well. The
Yes.
makeup and the design and everything, the
Yep.
curly, crazy carrot top hair, and all of
Yep.
just terrible. Absolutely terrible. Epic fail.
So,
Amazon.
but what did you think of it though? Yeah, it was
It
bad.
was the
but
worst thing I've ever seen.
It was pretty bad. But then we go back to Eamon Valda. We go back to he's in a tent. He's going to start
Mhm.
torturing some fools. That's what he does. And we do see he's a real foodie. He's a real foodie. We
He's
see him
a
eating
real
that
foodie.
spiked thing. He cooked a lady in one of the earlier episodes.
Did
Now he's
cook a lady,
eating.
that's right.
He's eating. He's just casually munching an entire pig. Like, think
Yeah.
about that for a second, Justin. He has an entire pig. It's not like this is at a big dinner table or something. There's other.
Right.
This is like his office, and he just has an entire pig just sitting there that he's just casually eating. Like, you almost got to
Well,
not, tip your cap at that kind of a
questioners
dedication.
have big appetites, I guess. I don't know.
Right. I get torturers, right? I mean, that takes a lot
Acting
out.
wise, he does a great
Yeah.
job.
Oh, he does
The
just
guy who
fine.
plays Valda does a great job.
Does absolutely just fine.
Unlike Perrin. Now, I have to say,
Yeah.
this might be an unpopular opinion. We
Mm.
have many unpopular opinion when it comes to
Us?
the Wheel of
I
Time.
think we've got the pulse of the people.
But now I will say that the actor who plays Rand, everybody was comparing him to Hayden Christensen in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And what I'll say is he acts a lot like Rand because Rand is kind of emotional and whiny in the books. And so he is kind of like him, kind of stoic, but kind of whiny, kind of quiet, but kind of whiny. It's like he does kind of play Rand the way Rand should be played. But
Especially early on. Yeah.
yeah. And so, but the guy who plays Perrin, I feel like he's always just like,
Right.
always just like has like a dumb look on his face. Like, and I hate it. Every time he looks up, and it doesn't matter if it's like if he's hurt or he's not hurt or he's having a conversation with someone, he just always seems like he has a dumb look on his face, and I don't like it.
But Justin, he can talk to wolves, so
Maybe, allegedly.
That's a pretty big deal.
Spoiler alert.
That gets me thinking, Justin. If you could talk to any animal, Justin, what would it be? If you could talk to if you could pick, and you could tell you only one. You can't you're not Dr. Doolittle, right? You can't talk to them all. You have to pick a single animal. What would it be? For me, if I had to guess what you would say, I would think guinea pigs. That way you can talk them through getting out of your anus.
So
you don't have to lure them out.
A close second. Richard Gere and I used to be good friends.
Right.
It would be a kinkajou, specifically the kinkajou from that movie on Netflix. What is it called? Have you watched this with Max? With the singing kinkajou? And he's actually voiced by Lin-Manuel Miranda. And I would want him to be so that way I could sing and hang out with Lin-Manuel Miranda as a kinkajou.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Is it called Vivo?
Vivo.
Vivo.
Yes.
Yeah,
So the Kinkajou Vivo. That's who I would want to talk to because then I could hang out with a Kinkajou version of Lin-Manuel Miranda, and then we could sing Hamilton together, like while we're drinking beer, and it would be really awesome. So,
wow, that is, and so then gerbils were going to be number 2 on the list.
Close second. Richard Gere and I are also good friends.
All right. Well, that is an absolutely wonderful answer, Justin. Now, then, just what we do, we move on to Stefan, and he's the warder who lost his Aes Sedai through his own sheer incompetence. and he's really having a heck of a time, right?
He's having a bad day.
He's having a bad day
time.
because again,
Yeah.
he lost his job, right? His Aes
He sure
Sedai
did.
is dead. The ring he pawned, it just melted down. He got almost nothing for it. You know what I mean? So he's living on pittance. He's just getting drunk all the time. He's going to Nynaeve for drugs. Right. I mean, clearly that looked like marijuana's to me. It looked like he was smoking some marijuanas.
Marijuanas. Yeah.
I believe that's how the kids say it. And so, it's just tough to see him in such hard times. And I was really hoping that by the end of this, we'd see the warders maybe come together with like an intervention style thing, just like with their box wine and like, pointing in his finger and saying like intervention.
Pajama night.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like they get him off the drugs and they get him clean. Maybe they play night crawlers together or something. Instead, it wasn't nearly as emotional or fun as that. He ends up killing himself because he was just so bummed about being such a screw up. Yep.
He was really hard on himself for letting the one person that he was supposed to protect,
sworn to protect,
die, and
his
so
entire life's purpose.
He should have been ashamed about that. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, and I mean, there's he killed himself, and honestly, sometimes there's a good reason for that. And then all the warders pull like a Marky Mark from Fear style, hitting themselves in the chest thing,
including the Aes Sedai. Moiraine starts also pounding her chest.
Right, I know she starts pulling the Marky Mark too, which was weird. Because I'm like, why are they doing? I believe Marky Mark was doing that so that he could say someone hit him, so that he could like continue to manipulate some young girl.
No, that is so that he could say that like her dad punched him or something.
That's what it was. Yeah,
but I always think of Matthew McConaughey and Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh,
that's
another good one. Another good one where they're just doing he's just doing a bunch of rails all the time, talking about how many.
Yeah, he is.
How many times do you masturbate? 5 times a week. You're gonna need to get those numbers. You know what I mean? So great movie, awesome role from Matthew McConaughey. But so yeah, and that's it. Oh yeah, and then Lan finds him because
Lan finds him dead, right?
Yeah, because he wakes up with a terrible hangover. He's clearly been roofied by Stefan and wakes up next to a dead guy.
Step in, Pete.
Step in, whatever.
Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf. Steppen? Like I stepped in something?
Schleppen.
Schleppen? Maybe it's on his briefcase. Check his briefcase.
It's a Schlemiel.
Samsonite. God, we were way off. We knew it started with an S, though.
And that warder relationship, Steppen is both the Schlemiel and the Schlemazel.
But so Lan was roofied, wakes up next to a dead guy, and I got to tell you, I've been there multiple times.
Many times, I
never
imagine.
fun.
Yeah,
never fun. I really felt like I felt for Lan in that moment. Probably the most emotional scene, just understanding what Lan has been through. And I think when you've really lived it yourself, that's when it really resonates for you.
Well, now let's be honest here. Like, let's be serious. Did you care for that scene? Like, where they select one warder to mourn for everyone, and so Lan just kind of sits there and screams.
I didn't care for the scene, nor do I really care at all that this particular warder is dead, because they have done nothing to make me invested in his character.
He's not even from the books. He's a character the show made up.
So like this is they're just making up characters. You can't do that in shows. You can't
but the whole point
characters
is that
up.
The show revolves around
real life. And that guy wasn't real.
And around the Emmonsfield 5, Moiraine, Lan. Now, of course, new characters get introduced, and they will be major characters. But, just like in Game of Thrones, you start with a couple of families and a couple of characters, and most of those characters make it through to the end. Yes, some of them die, right? But a lot of the people that die are people that are introduced later, right? I mean, like Jaime Lannister, of course, survives till the very end. And spoiler alert for Game of Thrones, and Cersei gets it all the way to the end. Tyrion makes it to the end. Jon Snow makes it to the end. Really, Daenerys to the end. Like all the main characters make it to the end. And this is really about the Emmonsfield 5, and it's about Moiraine and Lan, right?
I would say.
And so why? I know. Hold on. This is a 14-book series. Now, we know it's going to be shortened. We know it's going to be condensed, right? But instead of taking a show like this with a book like this and giving them 10-hour-long episodes or 12 episodes or 15 episodes, they only get 8. And in that small amount of time, which they have already rushed things exponentially. Again, I actually wish we hadn't read the books yet. I wish we hadn't started reading the books. I think I would enjoy the show more. Although we'll talk about this later too. I do think it's a little weirdly low budget looking sometimes. Why are you
like
spending
10 million an episode?
But it doesn't look like they're
doesn't
spending
look
10
that
million
way,
an
right?
episode.
Sometimes it looks good, sometimes it looks bad. It's just a hit or
Yes.
miss. Yeah.
And so why are we spending almost an entire episode on Steppen? Is it to show the bond between the warder and the Aes Sedai? Because he could have just went crazy and gone and killed himself, and that would have shown that he goes crazy. You didn't have to drag it out through an entire episode. Learn about Rand. Let's learn about Matt or Perrin or Egwene. Let's learn about them.
Well, and that relationship is already going to be understood through Lan and Moraine's relationship, which is going to be continue to be fostered over time through episodes. So you don't really need to show that any more than you're already going to through telling their story. It's really weak sauce, in my opinion. So, like you brought up Game of Thrones and how a lot of main characters made it to the end. Well, I would say some did. But a bunch of main characters die in that show, and then new main characters emerge. Right. So
well, of course, course. But I'm saying,
so like you're talking
speaking,
about, so you're talking about like Jon Snow, people like that who make it to the end. Yeah, but he wasn't really a main character. He developed into a main character, and one that he's one of the few that you see as one. I'd say the biggest main character that makes to the end, who's just kind of a character you like right from the get-go, is Tyrion, right? And he's one that survives.
You like Tyrion from episode 1.
Yeah, but then it's like, obviously Ned Stark was the main character and Robert Baratheon was the main character. That's who you spend most of the episodes learning about, revolving around, and you learn about these other characters through them, but then they die and then new main characters emerge. And then
that's true.
And then they die because then you get like Robb Stark and stuff, and then they die. And then you're kind of like, okay, now you feel like you know where the landscape is. And then still more of those characters die. But then some of them that make it to the end were indeed around in the beginning, but they weren't in the limelight like they were towards the end. So there really were stakes, like characters that you really liked in that show and that you learned about and that you were emotionally invested in were killed. And that hurt.
Of course, because there were a lot of main characters.
Yeah.
But when you look back at like the final season or the final battle, and as things are coming down, you're like, it's Jon Snow and it's Sansa and it's Arya all around from the beginning. And you look at the Lannisters and you're like, Jaime and Cersei and Tyrion are all still there. And you look and you're like, Daenerys is still there. And it's like, so really a lot. Now, of course, certain people serve a purpose, right? Like Ned Stark served a purpose. This doesn't have to be a Game of Thrones, video.
We're just going to turn it into that.
He served the Dumbledore, the, Gandalf. He served that wise old character whose death propels all the other characters into the story. Yeah,
I would still, of course, but I would still say, in that show there were real stakes. Main characters that you really loved died.
But no one thought he was going to die.
And so those deaths resonated. Right, they were felt, and that's honestly what gets you even more hooked into the show. Here, they're like killing people, and they're trying to force a reaction out of you by like spending a lot of time lingering about the Aes Sedai and the warder who you know nothing about. So it's like there are just no state. You don't really care. You don't know these characters, right? It might as well just have been a side character in the background that they killed, but now they're spending a whole episode going over their funeral and stuff. And it's like what you haven't made me care. Why should I care about this? Right.
I agree. And there's something, down the road that we'll talk about in future episode reviews that this point, I think, is compounded of the show spending too much time on extra characters. Because again, you could even say like, yes, certain stories where it seems like maybe they're main character or they're propelling something else. You say, okay, but let's say Steppen is a one-off character, a character that was created. I don't believe was named in the books. He just was created, and basically him and his Aes Sedai, like it really was a full episode, was all about them.
Yeah.
And there was lots of scenes with him and lots of dialogue with him. And it was just like,
and
man,
like, Lan was fucking tore up like
And it's
his,
like,
you
do you
know,
even really know this guy?
that's what I mean. It's like you just saw him. Did you what? Like you guys were acquaintances. Like my God, if like some people died that I knew that like you worked with for a long time, and it's like, oh, that'd be really emotional. I wouldn't be marking myself in the chest while screaming to the sky when they die. Like I mean, come on, you haven't done enough.
Mhm.
See, the marking makes more sense because it was more aggressive. You know what I mean? That theirs wasn't so much the Matthew McConaughey. It would have been just as appropriate or inappropriate, however you want to say it. Didn't make any sense, Justin. They had not developed those character relationships to warrant that kind of a spectacle for these two characters that we barely know having died. A lot of people have died so far. We don't know them, so we're not spending a lot of time on them. They decided to spend an episode on these deaths for characters we barely know.
I agree.
What are you doing?
Crazy. Hopefully it gets better and we won't start with a cold open on another character that may not be a main character. We're going to learn about the Evansfield Five and our main characters next episode. Right? Probably
Justin,
not.
have I got a treat for you for the next episode?
Oh, I can't wait.
Because
that's it for
we
the
are
episode 5 review. See you next time. All right. Well, that's what we're calling now.
All right. That's episode 5.
Man.
Now we move on to episode 6, where
One
they
more.
still do not give us background. They're going to move on to a new character,
no,
Justin. They're going to move on to a new one.
Damn it, Augie, what's up, man? Oh,
What's
jeez.
going on? All right.
Yeah, Tyler, we gotta. So you've only watched through episode 6, right?
Yep, through episode 6.
Okay, so you gotta watch episode 7, and then we really should record a review separately, not on the live like we've been doing, and then we really should try to do a review of episode 8, also recorded like on Friday. Like
when does this finale air?
Christmas Eve. So
Christmas
Friday.
Eve. Interesting. Okay.
So I mean, like we're gonna be home. We shouldn't be working and we should be able to hop on for 30 minutes.
Right.
You know, like in the morning and just do it.
Just do a quick takedown.
Get a video. A quick takedown of the finale.
These episodes have been way better.
The thumbnail is just going to say why the finale sucked. That's that's it.
All right, but I mean, these have been better. I would say, you know, the first 3 I was very blah on, and these ones I'm more of a blah. You know what I mean? It's much more of an upbeat blah. I'm gonna, you know, when we do our rankings, our scorings of this, it's gonna get a few extra points.
You think so?
So it's gonna go from like a meh to a meh. So we'll see. But now we're moving on to episode 6, Justin.
Episode 6. Let me see here. Oh, this one's the Flame of Tarvalen. Okay. All right. Hold on. All right, homies. Here we go. Yeah, Boba's gonna crush all that dare oppose him.
Very excited.
Yeah, I think Book of Boba Fett drops December 29th, if I recall.
It's coming quick. Yeah, I know it's coming
quick.
quick.
29th. So next week, right before New Year's.
Yeah, that's
so
very excited. I hope they do right by him.
I'm debating. Tyler and I were talking about things to do. I think I might start doing like an instant reaction, like 5 to 7 minute videos, like myself of everything I watch. Like I think when I watch Book of Boba Fett, the second I watch it, I'm gonna come down, record myself, instant reaction, say whatever I have, make whatever jokes I got, and then 5 minutes, 7 minutes, boom. And I'm gonna do instant reactions, I think, from now on to every single thing I watch.
There you go.
What do you
so
think?
like Gilmore Girls. What else do you watch?
Yeah, well, I watch Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy is one of your favorites. They're on like their 30th season as well.
Yeah, 31st season. Yeah.
31st season, 31 years. Crazy today. It's actually not far off from that. They've been on for like 20 years, haven't they?
I think it's actually like the 16th season.
16th,
like my. But you got to remember, like, you know, when you say like that, when we're talking about like Always Sunny being on for 16 seasons,
right?
They're doing like 8 to 10 episodes. Grey's Anatomy is doing like 25 or 30 hour long episodes, sometimes 2 hour long episodes. It is just filler. Just
I thought they jumped the shark when I remember coming out and my wife watching it, and there was like a bomb in some dude's butt or something, and I'm like, my God, they've run out of ideas. Then it went on for another 15 years. My God, it's crazy. All right, we doing this episode 6.
All right, we're doing it. Ready? Here we go. All right, The Wheel of Time, episode 6. Tyler, let's start with the episode summary as we always do, shall we?
Please.
Okay. The Flame of Tarvalen. Yes, Tarvalen, not Tarvalon.
You're just not having these pronunciation issues.
I am not having it. The Amerlin Seat questions and berates Leandrin, Alana, and Moiraine for Logain's gentling. She ain't happy about it.
No.
Visiting Rand and Matt, Moiraine protects them from the tainted dagger from Shadar Logoth. Moiraine asks Egwene and Perrin to wait for her to send for them. Weird. Megan, a blue sitter, orders Moiraine to remain at the tower, and Moiraine tries to hide her motives from Leandrin. A weird Game of Thrones scene where Moiraine seems to want to meet in the tub naked. I thought that was a little odd. Moiraine asks Lowial for a favor. Moiraine and Swan meet in secret, and the two quote-unquote lovers discuss their plan to find the Dragon Reborn. Moiraine takes a reunited Nynaeve and Egwene to meet the Amerlin Seat, where Egwene is awestruck and Nynaeve is suspicious, as always, that Nynaeve. In the Hall of the Tower, Moiraine is exiled by Swan in a ruse to allow her to leave the tower with the Two Rivers villagers. Moiraine gathers the Two Rivers villagers, I shouldn't have to say that repeatedly back to back, and Lowial at a waygate, where they will travel to the Eye of the World to confront the Dark One and uncover who the Dragon Reborn is. Matt hesitates, however. In the other villagers, Lowial, Moiraine, and Lan enter the ways.
The way station. They get weighed in to see what they're hauling. Just episode 6. So we start off cold open on Sanche. Is that her name?
This time we do. Swan Sanche, the Amerlin Seat. Yes.
And so what we see her use her powers to give her dad a hand.
Oh, whoa. Oh my God. Good night, everybody. That's all we've got for you.
He's missing a hand. How do
we not have 1 million subscribers?
I mean, come on.
I don't understand.
Jesus.
This is gold. This is solid stuff. Oh, man.
But whatever. So we meet her. We don't really know who she is or what she's doing because, of course, they're introducing a new character and not spending any time developing the characters that the whole thing is supposed to be about to make sure that we still have zero emotional connection to these characters, because we're just going to introduce more and more and then do something else with those characters and then just keep moving on. So then just anyway, we meet this character and then we see Logain talk to the Amerlin Seat, still talking a big game, even with his scrot removed. I thought that was pretty surprising.
That's pretty ballsy.
Well,
bringing you guys comedic gold.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Two in like less than a minute.
It's less than a minute, and like we're crushing it, Tyler. We are knocking it out of the park. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Sometimes you hit the ground running, right? Like Smash Mouth. So then, Justin, you're just not allowed to bring up that famous Smash Mouth song. They're like, you hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun.
Stop it.
You know, like your brain gets smart and your head gets dumb or something like that. It's in Shrek. It's in the Shrek movies.
It's in the Shrek movie.
It's in the Shrek movie. And so then, Justin, we see Leandrin. Oh my God, this wicked bitch, man. She is evil. And she has a jawline that rivals Henry Cavill's.
No kidding. Oh my God.
My
It's like someone shoved a cinder block in her mouth. Wow.
Yeah, I know. And she's just got an olic in her lower lip because it is bam. Man. I mean,
I wish I had a jawline like that.
I know, dude. I don't even have anything close to that.
No,
nothing. Jesus. Her jaw is like 2 of my jaws. Like, no joke. Like 2 of my jaws. That's her jaw.
You could take her face and like use it to climb a mountain. You could just keep jamming it into the side of the mountain.
Yeah. And I want to just look at that.
And I want that.
I just want to slam it into the side of a mountain. But so we meet, we were talking to Leandrin in the Amerlin Seat. She mentions that like mother once blew herself or something. I don't know what she's talking about. No one does. And then what we really discover at the end of the day,
is that a Tobias Funke reference?
It is a Tobias Funke reference. He was an anal rapist. Do you remember Tobias? And what we really discovered, Justin, is that there's a lot of mean girls in this White Tower.
They is.
A lot of, like, I kept expecting like Leandrin to just like knock over Moraine's lunch tray or something like that when they're all congregating in the hall. Oops, kind of thing. Like they're catty in this
catty
moment,
bitches.
man.
Yeah.
Yep. But so then we see a little performance between Moraine not being very upfront with the Amerlin seat. The Amerlin seat lays down the hammer on her, makes her kiss marble, getting down there kissing the floor. I mean,
on your knees.
Absolutely.
There'll be a nice little callback to that very soon.
There will be, because it turns out they're scissoring.
And they totally are.
They are. And so what you're saying is going to be a callback because they have a sexual relationship. And I know for those of you who have not seen the show, you probably think we're joking. We are not. So Moraine actually creates like a secret passage to where she can jump through.
That's a thing from the books. They used it Terangrial. That is a thing from the books.
And then they
not
scissor
that
each
exact thing, not that exact thing, but a Terangrial is a thing from the books. But continue.
And they scissor each other in that one,
and it leads to scissoring. It has scissor powers.
Scissor power. So, but now, if this were HBO, we would have definitely seen scissoring. But we don't. We don't. Alas,
which is fine.
We see no scissoring. We see a passionate. We see a kiss. Mm-hmm. And then she goes down on her knees, which is the callback that Justin referenced. The Amerlin seat is taking a seat to go ahead and munch on Moraine's business.
Seat?
So Do you
think Mom's watching tonight? I hope not.
No, because I wouldn't want to know what she's doing while she's watching this and hearing this conversation. Mom, it is past your bedtime. You have to be up early for breakfast. Get to bed right now, Mom.
Yeah, Bill Naps opens at 4:30.
Right. Is Bill Naps a regional thing? Do people have Bill Naps everywhere?
I
hope they don't. I hope the rest of the country is spared.
Arnie's, Cracker Barrel, they're widely known. I don't know.
Yeah, Cracker Barrel. Yeah, that a lot of old people go to that in the morning. But that one's better than a Bill Naps, though. I feel like that's harsh to put them in that category. But so yeah, so then what happens? They pull the venom out of Matt, right? Moraine pulls the venom out of Matt.
So after she leaves, because the Amerlin was not happy with Moraine, she's got to come back for judgment, right? She got to come back for judgment.
But really, they went in their secret room. They did their thing. It was all a charade. It was all a charade.
And then she goes, and now she saves Matt. She saves Matt from that dagger. Now, this is a big, long storyline in the books.
Yeah.
This goes all the way through the second book.
Yep.
Matt is sick with the dagger for a long time.
Getting more and more evil.
More and more
case
evil.
Of the grumpies.
He has to be a real case of the grumps. And he has to be continually healed by Aes Sedai throughout the first two books, because he gets so sick. And it isn't until the big culmination, I think at the end of the Great Hunt, where a team of Aes Sedai have to jointly perform this Herculean effort to save Matt.
Right.
In the show, Moiraine just walks in and she's like, a knife, you fool. And then she's like, whoa, and she sucks it out, tries to go in her mouth, and she's like,
I'm going to say it's really like he got bit by a snake and she just kind of,
yeah.
And she tried to go in her mouth, sucking on the venom. Yep. And then boom, he's fine. And she's like, why didn't you call me an hour? I could have fixed him right away. I just had to suck
Why didn't you text me? She's like, you could have texted me and I would have been over here right away.
But no, they just leave him hanging out there. I'm going to say in the books, that's a huge thing. And even severing it was dangerous because his bond to the blade was so serious that
they could have killed him, I think, just by doing it.
They almost killed him just separating him from the blade. So it was a big thing. And but no, she just kind of just spits it out and it's no big deal. Moving on.
And Rand's like, get away. And then it happens. And then he's like, thank you.
What?
I trust you.
You're good peeps.
You're good people.
Exactly. Puts his hand on her shoulder and we're all good.
Everyone's like, thanks, Anakin.
Yeah. Yep. So again, just excellent writing and dialogue. Very impressed at this point with their lack of craft. It's very impressive. Moraine takes a bath. She loves a good bath. We're only in season 1. We've now seen Moraine take multiple baths. No boobage though, not a single chesticle. She keeps those things below the water. It's cold, and it'd be a bit nipply if they were out. Yeah. And so anyway, then we talk
so good. man.
we talk
This
to
is going to be on the YouTube homepage of every human
the
being
YouTube
on
Hall of
Earth.
Fame. The YouTube Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it is.
Least liked episode in all of YouTube. Impressive. So then we talked to like Megan. Is that her name? Megan? One of the Aes Sedai. She's like the spider and got. Apparently, she's hearing her little birds. She knows all the stories about what Moraine does. You heard about this?
I forget the name.
Okay. Megan?
I don't know.
Anyway,
Sure.
she hops in the tub with her as well, because that's just apparently how they talk. They're just hopping in the tub. Not a lot of discretion with this kind of stuff. Lan
Megan.
was in the tub.
She's the one who I think is in charge of the Blue Aja.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Right.
Yeah.
So she blew herself as well.
She blew herself as well. Yes.
Yeah, they all blew themselves.
Everybody be blowing themselves. I would want to be a member of the Blue Aja if I were a female in the world, just so I could say I blew myself.
All right. I mean,
I feel like in that world, nobody would get it.
Right. I know. Well,
you're implying a little too serious.
You're implying they're all too stupid. God.
Well,
yeah,
and don't you feel like Matt's the only one that would get it?
Yeah, he'd giggle. He'd laugh at it.
He'd think
but Justin actually has blew himself before. That's why you took yoga for all those years, so you could do that.
Why else does anyone take yoga?
Just like Marilyn Manson, right? You removed one of your ribs so you could blew yourself.
Actually, that wasn't necessary.
No, because you were blowing him. Like
I was like, Marilyn, I got you.
Don't even gonna do this surgery. He didn't actually do that. It's just urban legend.
What he meant, Tyler. That's not what
because Justin went to him and he's like, Marilyn, this is crazy. I'll blow you right now.
I got it.
Even
We're gonna have to cut out so much of this video.
What?
I used to do that a lot. When we edited videos. The last video, I don't think I cut out anything.
Yeah,
I don't edit anything anymore. It doesn't matter until we get in trouble. Doesn't matter. So
right, who we gonna by the YouTube police? Come on, we're gonna be just fine.
Yeah, technically, yeah, they can just turn the channel.
Yeah, that's a good point. So anyway, Moraine and the Seat performed like a Harry Potter style unbreakable vow.
Oh, now let's talk about how dumb that was.
Sure.
Right? Because
it's dumb.
I'm not the only one who thought that was super dumb. Right?
It was dumb. Yeah.
Because the Aes Sedai can't lie. Uh-huh. So, she could have just asked her any simple question, like, you're not going to come back and you will obey my order, right? Right. I mean, like, yes, or no. Instead, they do this stupid unbreakable vow thing, which is a thing in the books that they take, like when they become an Aes Sedai or whatever. But at the end, and I know you're gonna point this out as well. She says, "You're banished from the White Tower, and you won't return until Mother calls you home," or whatever it was. And I'm like, so you could leave right now, and Swan is crying. The Amberlin is crying, but if you left right now, she could be like, "Moiraine, come back."
Yep.
And you go, "Okay," and you come back.
Yep.
And so it's like that. It makes the promise meaningless. And so to then make Swan cry and to make them both look upset when one, I guess maybe it's acting. Maybe everyone will say, well, they're acting. They're putting on a show because they know Moiraine has to go to the Eye of the World. And so this is all just for everyone else. But it'd be like, but then why would the Amberlin be crying? Does she want everyone to know that she's in a relationship with Moiraine and she's actually really sad about this?
Right.
Or like,
shouldn't she be cold?
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
She should have been cold. Yeah.
She should have been very cold. This is the thing. I mean, this is now repeatedly a criticism we have, Justin. You know that feeling where you got your knife and your fork and you've tucked the napkin into your shirt. You got your potatoes.
Have you ever done
corn? You got your corn. And Justin, what do you see? You look down at your plate. No steak. You gotta have steaks.
You need steaks, buddy. And have you ever tucked the napkin in your shirt?
I have not, because I'm not a fucking caveman, Justin. So no, I don't do that. I've seen people do that at a restaurant, and
really, like in real life, like recently. The only time I ever see it is like in an '80s movie, like somebody from Texas will stuff a napkin down their shirt.
Yeah, no, I've seen someone do it in a real restaurant before, but I went up to him, I took my white glove out of my pocket, and I slapped him right in the face.
You white cloaked those tinkers.
Dare you do that in my presence? you animal. Like, who does? Just don't eat all over your shirt, you fucking idiot.
Like, are you really
So
just slopping food around when you eat?
right, like, how is this guy eating? And so, yeah, he put his hands behind his back and he asked for his food in a trough like the animal he was. But I shoot him out of there, so it was fine. But I actually have seen someone eat that way. Just looks terrible. Just looks it's like someone who eats their, with their spoon like this. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have like a normal utensil grip. They like do like they're 2 years old.
That's
And it's
weird.
like it's it's like at the end of the day, it's fine. It works, sure, but it just looks off. There's just something wrong with it. And you're like, you should just hold it differently though. And so it's like,
why
you
don't
tuck
you
in the
just pick it up in
napkin
your
in.
hand and just throw it in your face?
Right. And it's like tucking the napkin in your shirt. It's like, yeah, I mean, that's fine, right? It does protect your shirt. I get it. But it just looks so stupid, man. It's like, just find a way to not eat so messy is what I'd prefer to do than to look the way those buffoons look. But, what can you do? A lot of crazy people out there, a lot of crazy drivers.
Lots of crazy drivers out there. Tyler, are you implying that Rosie O'Donnell can't drive?
I think that's what you're insinuating through that statement, Justin.
No,
and
no.
I
I was contending, not insinuating.
No, I think you were inferring, and I was implying. But anyway, Justin, then we have a very emotional moment as our heroes, Justin, unite, and into the ways they go. And
They come back
onward,
together.
They come
After
back
being
together.
apart for like 40 minutes?
Yeah, it's about 40 minutes. And it's not really that emotional of a moment.
No, they didn't really struggle. They didn't really even have time to miss one another. They didn't even
Yeah.
really have time to go on their own journeys.
Yeah, and Moraine's kind of like, we got shit to do. Like, we'll catch up on the road. Like, let's not talk about it here now. Because Perrin could right there be like, hey, I can talk to wolves. People could bring that kind of stuff up. Matt could be like, I was super attracted to a dagger, almost killed me. Like, they had some stories to tell.
Yeah, I would think so.
No time for that.
No time.
And so that now they're going to go into the ways, except Matt, because he killed a little girl, and
He did.
and because they have to switch who plays him. So
now that is true. Now I will give
ordeal.
the show a pass on this. I
Well,
will give the
that's-
show
yeah.
a total pass because, of course, Matt goes into the ways. He does not stay behind. The only reason he stays behind in the show is because Barney Harris, the actor, abruptly left the show mid-production, and they really didn't have a choice. And
Yeah.
so even those shots of him when they cut back to him, those are not even purposeful. Those are just random shots of Matt making faces. They're not even meant for that scene. It's very obvious when you go back and rewatch. It's very
they're just random shots of a horse and stuff. I mean, it's very confusing.
Of him like eating an ice cream cone.
Right, like on
Matt,
set
and he's
somewhere. He's just like in his his chair,
by
like
his
his little
dresser
production
room,
chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, there's like plants and like mirrors behind him, and they're like,
"No,
Matt,
come with us!" No, yeah, what the heck? That's why they fired him, because he was just always eating ice cream.
Always
on
eating
set.
ice cream. It's like there's work to be done.
Right. They had to like put peanut butter under his teeth and make it look like he said his lines like Mr. Ed, because he was just so impossible to work with. But
Okay,
so anyway,
the ways. We got to
The
talk
ways.
about the ways. The ways were one of my favorite things in the first book.
yeah, it was great.
The ways, the way gates, and everything. Now, of course, the way gate, which is also, you can kind of see it here in the background that we're using here on our video. This is, of course, from the television show. It is not really anything close to what the ways look like or are described as looking like, of course, in the books. They're very
look like
different.
in real life.
Or in real life. They're open with I think it's called an Avendosora leaf. Am I saying that right? I think I'm saying that right. And so you need a leaf, and the door is an archway, and it's just very different. You don't use the one power to open it. And so
where's their leaf? Where's their leaf? I'm not having it.
They changed a lot about now. We'll get into that a little more in the next episode. But Moiraine conjures it, opens the doorway right to the ways. All of our heroes, except Matt. Barney Harris, something's up with Barney Harris. They all get in there, and it closed. Now you kind of get a glimpse of what is inside the ways, right? Of what it's going to look like.
Darkness.
Before the episode ends. But there's like little pathways you can kind of see, and it already is not what I pictured. Like, like what I pictured, and I don't know about you, but like what I pictured for the ways was like nothing. Like they walk and their candles barely show light a few feet in front of them, and there's nothing. Like they just walk in darkness, and then occasionally they come to a bridge or a cliff or a sign, and like you can't see anything. Like I always pictured it as just like they said, everything is consumed.
Yeah.
But that's not the way you could kind of see it at the end there, because you could see, I don't know, like if you'd call it a bridge or a walkway, and you could kind of see more crazy, jagged things. And we'll talk about this more in the next episode. But I was already like, I don't know if I'm gonna love the ways or not.
Right.
What did you think of the whole depiction there?
No, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, that was supposed to be like the nothingness was almost suffocating, right? It was almost like you got claustrophobic because of the nothingness was just like encasing them. Like it was like the light didn't even go out far enough, right? Like you'd flash a light and it's just like you could still barely see anywhere in front of you. It was just nothingness, which was cool. But then there was a lot of creepy stuff that started happening in this nothingness. Started to get pretty good. I really liked that whole section of the book. It's very interesting. So, who knows? Maybe this section of the show, I did, again, like these episodes more than I did the first three. These next three were a lot better. But as we pointed out, still some rough points. But they still have time to get their feet under him here. They still have some time to make up for it. We'll see what happens in a ways. Then that's episode 7. 8's, I think, out now. And then the finale, Christmas Eve. So that'll be a Christmas.
Well, 7's out. The finale is 8. So,
the finale is 8. So it's 7's out.
7's out. The finale is released this for us when we're recording this.
8 episodes.
It's only 8 episodes. The finale's in a couple of days.
Wow.
Yeah, for us from the time we're recording this. Yeah.
All right. Well, and so that's it. So that wow. So that's the wheel weaves as the wheel wills. That's the episode. That's 6.
That's it. That's episode 6. Wait. What?
I was just gonna say. So what are you gonna rank these? So that we kind of gave our rating for the first 3 episodes. Now, what about for these next 3, Justin? How are you ranking this? I think you gave the first 3 a solid 6. I
don't know that we rated episode 1. I don't know if we rated episodes 2 and 3. I'm not sure. Maybe we could go through this because I think when we're done, we'll probably do a recap. We'll probably do a series recap where we go back and talk about everything we liked and didn't like and give it a final rating. Maybe
we'll talk about everything we didn't like. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, of course. And then we'll talk about predictions for season 2.
Predict how much we'll hate season 2.
Not going to like it.
I'm already predicting. I'm going to give it a 2.
I think the further it gets away from the books and the more things are developed in the show, I think the more we will grow to like it. I hope.
We'll see. We will see. I'm a hard man to please. Well, all right. Well, I guess no rankings. It's because it's not formal enough for Justin, and we'd already missed some. So, like, it would be a total sham if we tried to
6.5 out of 10.
All right. I'm not even going to say mine because now I'm self-conscious about the number I was going to give. So that's it. There's episode 6.
Episode 6. See you next time. Episode 7. We can cash that out. Boom. All right.
Cash that out.
Live Templars giving a -1. He hasn't seen it, obviously.
Right. But what is the scale? So that's not a.
It's 0 to -1.
Or
is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So like, then
-1 to -6, and therefore it's the best score possible.
Okay, -1 to -6, and that is the highest number out of those, assuming that is what where the scale is, because you could say 1 to 10, 1 being the best. Right, so you have to give the definition.
It's all context, Templar.
Yeah, the length of the scale, but then what the scale represents. So, and he said peas. So I don't know. So it's a scale of peas. Now I'm even more confused about what's going on. Templar has been really drinking on tonight's stream. I'm jealous.
Confused. I get confused. I always get confused.
Not me. I'm always on. I'm confused in the middle of my own sentence.
I totally get confused.
I'm confused most of my life.
Oh man. So you've got to watch episode 7 now, so we can make a review on episode 7. Hopefully in the next day or 2, and then we got to watch the finale right away, man. I don't know.
I'll get around to it.
I think episode 7. is probably the best episode so far.
Oh, interesting. All right. Well, I'm going to watch it tomorrow. We could probably even shoot an episode tomorrow or something like that. We're right quick. Do a quick recap, and then we could try to hop on right away on Christmas Eve and do a quick review. What time does that actually drop for us?
Oh boy, I don't remember. I want to say that I actually saw episode 7 appear late Thursday night because I was still awake. So I don't know if it's a midnight drop or not, or how late I was up that night. But I think I all of a sudden saw it and went, "Oh, it's out!" Like, because I think I was going to rewatch like episodes 4, 5, and 6, and then I saw 7 had dropped already. I said, "Oh wow!" So yeah, so I'm not sure, but boy, I mean, a lot has to happen depending on how they're going to wrap this, because I mean, like, this feels like it's like 150 pages of book material, or 200 pages of book material is like what's about to happen in the next 1 hour. Now, again, maybe the finale is going to be longer. I don't know. I don't know if there's rumors out there for runtime. Like, let me see.
I think it has to be because they plan on introducing 15 new characters. They got to spend a lot of time on. So it's going to be a long episode.
Let's see if we can. Let's see real quick if we can find anything about this. So we'll say Wheel of Time finale runtime. Let's see if there's like any good info I can find on this.
Let's do some Google searching.
You trying to find it?
Oh,
is this episode 7? So you got to be careful if you're looking around, because episode 7, right? What is that one titled? That one is titled The Dark Along the Ways.
Ooh.
And episode 8 is titled, of course, the name of the book, The Eye of the World.
The Eye of the World. Yeah, I mean, geez, and the end of the book. Yeah, oh man, you're right, because there is a lot that happens at the end of The Eye of the World that really is great, right? I mean, you got the ways stuff, but then there's a bunch of stuff that's about to like go down, man. So yeah, and they're only going to leave that all to one episode, huh?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So yeah, this says, so is GMT Greenwich time or is it Mountain Time? It says the Wheel of Time has consistently dropped Friday at midnight GMT, which amounts to Thursday evenings in the US, but it doesn't say what time. So I did see this Thursday night. So there's a chance that the finale could drop Thursday night. So it honestly might not be a bad idea for us if you're free, that we watch this Thursday night and then jump on and do like an instant reaction to it.
Okay, yeah, we can try that. So that was Greenwich time that they gave it in?
I don't know. It said GMT. Is that just General Mountain Time or no?
I don't know. Greenwich, obviously, the city in which time is kept. Think about that. Like, all of our time is based on the time kept in Greenwich. We all sync to Greenwich time. Why do we do that, Justin? Trivia question. Why do we all need to sync to Greenwich time? Do you know why that all started?
Because it's on the prime meridian.
No, it's actually because we just need, in order to actually, like, say, sail around the world, in order to navigate, you need a good clock. And you need to know essentially how far you are from the place where you were in order to navigate. So like latitudinally, you know where you are because
latitudinally.
So you can use what's called a sextant. So like, sailors back in the day could just use a sextant. And this is just something that like gives you an angle. You can point it at something, you get an angle, because you can point it at the North Star. And whatever degree you get, that's actually your degree latitude, which is really, really handy. So you can point it up there. And then that means essentially you always know where you are in the globe, up or down. But how do you know east or west? How do you know how far you've gone? Well, the only way you could really know that is if you look at where the sun, once the sun gets highest over the sky, so what you'd call, like your true noon, and then you look at a clock and you compare that to where true noon was. And so what we started doing is we created a city. We didn't create a city. We had Greenwich that created their clocks, and we called that like our main noon time, right? So that's where noon happened, right? And so then you have your clock synced so that when the sun is highest over the sky in Greenwich, that is noon. And so then you go, say somewhere, you sail, east or west. And then when the sun gets highest over the sky, you see what that clock says. And based on the time difference that you see there, you know how far east or west you are. And that's how we use that to navigate. Isn't that crazy?
There you go. Wait.
The more you know.
Banana.
Da-da-da. It's just a little tidbit for you all to just chew on.
So now, looking at this, Tyler, it says right now it's 3:37 a.m. or 3:39 a.m. Greenwich time, which means they're 5 hours ahead of us, which means the Wheel of Time should drop at 7 p.m. on Thursday night. Because I even said, I didn't think it was that late on Thursday, and I was like, oh, wow, it dropped. So I'm telling you, we should have dinner, and we should watch the Wheel of Time finale, and we should make a finale video, and then maybe do a series recap on our live next Tuesday, don't you think? And then we'll switch over, I assume, probably to the Book of Boba Fett. We'll probably be.
Yeah, definitely got to do the Book of Boba.
So, and we got to get back some Star Wars content. It's been a little while. We've taken a little bit of break from Star Wars just because Tyler and I were crushing ourselves for a long time on the Star Wars trivia. So we're like, all right, let's talk about some other fantasy and sci-fi shows for a little bit.
Then work started kicking our asses too, which didn't help.
Yeah, we both picked back up, and so me, I've been working from home a lot, about 50-50, probably even more working from home. And I officially last Friday got the call. Back full time.
You're pregnant.
I'm pregnant. Wow. We're having another baby.
We all dread that call.
I'm terrified.
That is absolutely terrible. But congratulations. Jesus, you're pregnant. That is so cool. Wow. I mean, just like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Junior, classic movie, him and Danny DeVito reunited after their epic film twins. And this is just like that. You're pregnant. But so you're back in the office full time then?
Yes, I am full time now, back in the office, which is fine.
It's just fine. Yeah. I've been back in the lab sciencing the shit out of stuff. Just sciencing left and right, man. Science coming out of my ears.
Science.
Bam, baby. That's how we do it. So yeah, I've been back in the lab full time too, but been busy. But very excited to start covering the Book of Boba Fett, start doing a few of the other ideas we talked about. You're building a studio. We're going to start doing the movie watch throughs. We talk, man, it's just really exciting. I can't wait to do those watch throughs. I seriously think those are going to be so much fun.
I think that will be like our key videos. The hard part is just because we live about an hour away is just going to be trying to get together to do them whenever we can.
But we get together a lot on the weekends, and it's like all we have to do is every time we get together on the weekend, we can shoot a couple of them. And I mean, we're just gonna be drinking, having fun. It's gonna be great, man.
I know, that's true. Yeah, I'll keep going back to the office
just in time for Omicron.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, literally, it's hard because I don't want to speak my mind, but I mean, my wife, she's sent back home. Her work was having outbreaks, and so she's back home full time, and my work is everybody's come back.
Yeah, right.
It's totally the opposite.
And where we live, the directors of hospitals are we're having to call in the military because our hospitals are filling up, and a bunch of people are just pandemic's over. It's fine. We can all where everything's done.
It's going to be something we as a society are going to be dealing with for a very, very long time, unfortunately.
It's going to be a bit, unfortunately.
Templar says to do Dune. Now, I think Dune should be one of the first. So what Tyler and I are thinking for these movie watch throughs is we literally we watch a movie, we react to it, and we make jokes, and we get hammered drunk. And then what we would do is we would clip the whole movie. So for Dune, it's 2.5 hours. And we would release the entire 2.5 hour clip on Patreon. So our patrons could see the whole thing. But the YouTube video will be a 15-minute clip down of what we think are our funniest jokes or the funniest moments because of course with fair use, You've got to be careful. You can only show so much of the movie, even if you're commenting on it. You got to be very, very, very careful. So that's kind of what we're thinking for those. And then I think I'm going to start doing instant reactions. So like every time I watch something, I kind of think of like Jeremy Johns or some other people who it's like something comes out, they do a 5 to 7 minute, just quick review. Here's what they think, you know, and that's
Gotta get
it.
yourself a leather jacket though.
Yeah, I got to get a leather jacket and a red background, but maybe I'll do like a blue background.
Well, exactly. Maybe, do a blue background and a tweed jacket. Because Justin, I've got the need for tweed.
The need for tweed. Yeah.
And so if you wear a tweed jacket in front of a green screen, green tweed, it all just fits, man.
Well,
and like you're gonna take him down. His numbers are gonna plummet when people see this guy in front of a beautiful green screen with a tweed jacket.
With a tweed jacket, it's gonna be good. Well,
Get out of
Tyler,
town.
I know it's hard to objectively evaluate yourself, but I appreciate you giving it a try.
Could we just turn the temperature down here like 2 degrees? I just always think better when it's cooler. Can we get our producer on that?
A new Transformers movie? Perfect. Yeah. And so what we were thinking is we would start with the newer movies and work backwards if we ran out of movies. And so I think that's kind of what we're thinking for the movie content. So
see, that's what Justin's thinking. I want to do any and all movies.
Every single movie ever.
Every single movie.
We're gonna get drunk
ever.
and film ourselves watching every single movie in history.
There are people I like to listen to podcasts where they do like movie breakdowns.
Shout them out. What are the one guys?
They're just the We Hate Movies guys are hilarious. Those guys are awesome, and it's just a podcast that they do. So I'll listen to on my drive sometimes, and it's like they'll do any movie. Like I told you the other day, they did like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and it's like it was great.
Oh, I bet we could crack crazy jokes.
Right.
On Honey,
It's like, and that was just fantastic. And it's like, so I want to do that, but like YouTube videos. So it's us getting drunk, watching these things, making jokes, having fun, cutting it down to those best moments, but then releasing the whole thing to our patrons so they can watch. Because obviously there's going to be funny stuff we don't put in it because we want to try to keep them kind of tight. And so the patrons could watch the whole drunken fiasco. But then on YouTube, we just kind of like have a clip of it. And I just think it'll be a blast. And so, yeah, I think obviously we want to do new movies, hot movies that, just released and everything. But I think that we should just do any movie we want, even let maybe patrons pick up. Right. Yeah. So the Templars say, patrons.
Did you really not see that post?
I'm not even joking. I did not.
That seems so weird that you said that as I had that comment up.
Yeah. But Templar read my mind. Right. He absolutely have patrons pick some movies and like whatever they want, literally whatever they want from any time. And we do that movie. It could be a serious movie, an awesome movie, a great movie. It could be a fucking terrible movie, a funny movie, serious. It doesn't matter. And we'll have fun.
It can be tall. It can be short.
It can be short, skinny, fat,
brown,
it can hair, bald.
It doesn't matter.
Hair. Yep,
we'll do it. We'll do it.
Yeah, we're gonna do it all. Every single bit of it.
We do it all.
Like, so August says Flash Gordon, right? See, like there's an idea. We could do Flash Gordon. And
now the classic, you see, I would love to keep it more fantasy sci-fi, but like there are so many great old classic fantasy and sci-fi movies that I think would be great.
So much fun.
Would be great to go back and get drunk and watch. Oh my God.
My only thing is, so we need to have a policy on how many beers we drink before we do the shoot. Because I don't think we should start the movie sober.
No, it's like a comedy club. It's a 2 beer minimum. So I think we would have to slam 2 beers
before we
start. Before we even start.
Yeah,
slam 2 beers.
That makes sense. And again, that can even be on the Patreon thing. Just a quick clip of us down in the beers, getting ourselves going, pumping ourselves up. Maybe we have like a pump up sesh. I know NSYNC used to hacky sack. Before their live shows.
We should hacky sack. That's a great idea.
We could do some hacky sack before each live show, just like the guys from NSYNC.
And we'd be just like them.
Those guys were cool back in the 90s. You used to have hair like Justin Timberlake back then.
It wasn't quite that curly, but
it was just as blonde. The tips were just as frosted.
That's true.
Justin sported frosted tips like nobody's business.
Yeah, I did. And then I went bald, and that's my punishment.
Right. I remember one time it was our brother's wedding, and Justin, just before the wedding, dyed his whole head just straight like
Bleach blonde.
bleach
Yeah.
blonde.
Yeah,
Our
I
mom
sure
was
did.
so pissed.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that
in
was
all
so
those
funny.
wedding photos, my hair looks dope.
You look fucking sweet, dude.
My hair looks dope. in
That looks
those.
dope as shit. So yeah, I say, yep, but that's a great idea. We have a 2-drink absolute minimum before we even start. We do a little hacky sack to get ourselves warmed
a
up.
little hacky sack. Maybe our
and
own
then-
version. Yeah, we'll figure something out.
And then we sit down and we get hammered watching these movies, talking about them, riffing on them for hours. And then we
That's
cut it
it.
down
We've
to
got
like our
some
best.
holiday weekends coming up. We might have to
Yeah.
get it done on the holiday weekends. The only thing, so we got Christmas Eve and then we got Christmas on Saturday.
Uh-huh.
Are you coming into town for Christmas on Saturday?
My wife just tells me where we're going, and I say, okay, that's
Yeah,
what we're doing.
that's funny. I do the exact same thing. So
Yeah, I just
you guys might be coming into town Christmas Eve, maybe.
Yeah.
I wonder.
well,
But
we're-
and then New Year's Eve, of course, is Michigan, Georgia, and
look
so
at that little
we're making
foosball.
plans for where to go watch the college football semifinal, so that Michigan will beat Georgia, and then they'll be in the national championship against Alabama, and then they'll beat Alabama, and then they'll be national champions. And so, like,
That's
I'm
really
really
exciting.
excited. I'm really excited about this.
That's
Yeah.
really exciting.
So I got to have something to do then. But New Year's Eve, and it falls in a weekend, so we should be able to maybe do something then too. I don't know.
So then let's see. And I've been saying this for a while, because even before the full studio gets built, where we'll have like the couch and stuff, there's no reason we can't just shoot it at the edge of the bar, right?
Yeah, no, we can. We can. We
And
can shoot
so
in the bar.
so we can set that up and just have it ready to go, and that way, then when I get over there, we just shoot, man. We start this baby going, because I think those are going to be a ton of fun, and we'll still do our lives, right? And maybe
we can still do the lives, of course.
like you said, open up the lives to more of just like interactive shooting the shit with people. Record some other instant reactions. Record our long watch throughs. We got some stuff in the works, some stuff in the pipes.
Yeah, I agree. Like, the live should just be a fun hangout with our peeps thing, not so rehearsed. And then we can still do trivia and like have fun, people on to have some fun and do like those things. But it could be more of a laid back fun thing. Right. And so like, like we've had Templar on as a patron. Pop Sith has been on as a patron. And some of our other patrons, we've invited them, but like it doesn't always work with their schedules to come on.
It's hard. Yep.
It's like, but it's fun. Have them come on. We can do some trivia, Star Wars or whatever. Like if they're a big DC fan or a Marvel fan, hey, why don't you come on, join us, and we'll do a live and have some people on, and we'll give them some Marvel trivia questions or something. So
sounds great. Can invite Ben Swolo.
Ben
I'm just looking through
Swolo
our
to come hang out with
overlays.
us.
It's been a long time since I've gone through them all, so sometimes you got to see.
That one was Tyler's.
This one was my favorite of all time.
No, this one.
No, it's definitely
this one.
I just think that one is so good. I've got my disappearing one.
Hold on. Yeah, that's a good one. So wait, but hold on. Here we go. This is how we do this. There we go.
Oh, shit. Hoisted by my own petard.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That's it. Well, then look.
Damn it. Bring me back.
You're gone. Doesn't work.
No.
Oh, another one of our best. Obi-Wan Baloney. An
I gotta look this way because I'm on the other side.
And absolutely, that's right. Yeah, wait, it's this way now.
That's
an
right.
absolute
We were
classic.
speculating to his what his costume was going to look like in the new show.
Oh gosh, and then this one that I did. I think that's
me.
I mean, my God,
that was me in high school.
Yeah,
right?
and boy, did you have a long face.
And that's my friend Eduardo.
Right. Yeah, got to put us back on the right side. It's just
I know it's just it's too weird. Everything is messing me up.
But God, I have so many favorites because look at this one. That's also you. That was you actually in high school.
But then our good friend the Pop Sith, he actually dressed up as this person.
Picture that was the best thing I've ever seen. He actually dressed up like as this like meme from this kid who dressed up as like the Nintendo god or whatever. Oh. That is, I mean, you got to give him credit where credit's due. What's this?
So
good. Yeah, this was
the remote
from the combat remote. Very, very good one there.
Well, then there's of course the
right the other way. Ah! from one of our best one of our best clips.
One of the best sign-offs we've done. That's for sure. Oh, I gotta go back up top. Oh yeah, that's right.
Borgalet.
That was the Borgalet.
The Borgalet on this one here.
Borgalet.
Yep. Orange juice toothpaste.
Oh my god, we
Like,
have
what
the
were we
best.
doing
We have the best overlays.
Gosh, these overlays are so good. Oh, this one. This was classic.
Big country time. What's up?
Bam!
I remember this one. I remember this that came out. How he just sneaks faster than
it just turns around and fucking
But the best part is how her feet go tumbling over.
Oh God. One of the just so fucking funny.
My God, that's so good. It's
avocados that look like a ball sack.
That
a
was
very good one here.
Oh,
Just showed this one. I was proud of this one.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
come on.
That's a great overlay, and this was the one that if Ric Flair, right?
Yes.
And who is it? It's Ric Flair,
Ray Liotta, and the dude from what's his name from The Wrestler, and
Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke.
If they all had a love
threesome,
child, it would be Dog the Bounty Hunter.
It would be Dog the Bounty Hunter. That was the deformed, diseased offspring of their disgusting sexual charades. So, or sexcapades, I guess. They're sexual charades. They're playing a game of charades, but like,
and then, of course, there's we have this depiction, of course, of Templar's mother-in-law.
Templar's mother-in-law. He sent us this picture. He's the one who meant. I mean,
he definitely did.
We'll put it up, man. We'll put it up.
Yep. So it's obviously already heavy. Yeah, don't do it. It's
we had this one, the BookBarBros eye speculums.
That's right, the eye speculums.
This was obviously from Clockwork Orange, and it was so that you could never miss a scene of Star Wars.
Yes,
one of our
or
classic
of the
products.
BookBarBros live, right? You can just keep your eyes open so you never blink and you never miss a single moment of the action.
And I mean, it's probably one of our best product ideas ever.
We've had a lot of great product ideas. This is probably the best one.
This is one of our best sellers too, because we sold it at Brookstone.
Well, but then you have to add the add-on products.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
And so, of course, like the eye drops
came with eye drops
because you need
to come with eye drops. And we threw those in, and this is what generous fellas we are. We threw those in free of charge.
Absolutely
free. If you buy 4 pair of the BookBarBro eye speculums, so that would be 2 for each of your eyes and then 2 for a friend. You each got a bottle of eye drops for free.
How can you go wrong? You can't lose.
If you sent in the rebate. You had to send in the rebate card.
Which you can't send in for 120 days, and then you have to send it in with 125 days.
Yeah, and you did have to agree to a hiking trip to the top of a mountain to fully reclaim the rebate. But still, man, that is a deal.
Yes.
Those weren't just any eye drops. But yeah, then we had, of course, ostriches. Because... I mean,
what was the reference to the riding the? It was the Mandalorian riding the what was it called? At the beginning of the Mandalorian season 1, he rides there's a Funko Pop of it. Isn't that what we were talking about?
No, I think it was the Fathiers. We were talking about how fast they go.
Fathiers, that's right. Oh, from The Last Jedi. Is that what it was?
But then, I think we ended up talking about like how fast they run and how ostriches we thought ran almost that fast. We got into a discussion about like we thought
who would win in a
ride them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and we were like, did they? And so then Frederick did a bunch of work showing that like people ride them. There's races.
It's dangerous.
And
shit. Look at this. Oh, it's dangerous.
And then we said, not only do people race ostriches, but people race ostriches. And this dude is racing an ostrich.
Yeah, yes.
I mean,
by the way, he got his ass kicked, obviously.
Well, no shit, because it's an ostrich. They're fast as fuck. Like, what you really need there is, like, the ostrich has to get distracted, right? That's the only way you win this race.
He's got to stop. He's got to look at something else. Yeah.
Right. Like, because if the ostrich, like, if you're lining up for that race and, like, you're at the starting line and the ostrich has, like, sweatbands on its ankles and stuff, and it's, like, it's stretching, it's, like, it's putting its little webbed feet into the blocks, you're fucked. This ostrich came to race, you are done. They
You're
are just
done.
faster than you.
Agreed.
If you have an
Yeah.
ostrich that's like getting distracted, it's looking at like other ostriches in the audience and stuff like that, then you have a chance, but that's your only chance. If that baby came to run, you're done for. Like, what are you even
done.
doing there? And so
Augie's right. It's a blurg. A blurg is what it's called. Yeah. And I believe there's a Funko Pop of the Mandalorian on the blurg.
yeah, that's right. That's the
Yeah.
thing that he rode. Right. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
and
kind
I
of looks
said,
like
there was
an ostrich that let itself go.
Yeah, very much let itself go. But yeah, I always didn't like that scene. It's one of the few scenes in The Mandalorian that I really didn't like. I thought it was cheesy. I thought it was very cheesy.
Pretty
And
cheesy.
then there's that time that we played baseball with Darth Vader. Remember that?
Oh my god.
And we got in so much trouble.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we got in a lot of trouble.
I just love.
Yeah, we got in so much trouble.
Dart, you can just tell he's like, I'm never going to hear the end of this. I mean, I think we talked about on that stream. It was like, remember breaking a window when you were a kid, and you're like,
yeah.
oh no,
Did it many times. Yep.
Right, and like you're like, oh shit, like wait until mom and dad find out about this. Darth Vader just blew up the Death Star.
Yeah, with a baller home run, by the way.
I mean, that's the one, but that's the one redeeming thing is he can at least say, but like
it was with a baller home run,
right? Like I hit the sweet spot, I hit that baby on the screws. I mean, and then he just might, you know what I mean? It'd kind of be like, and remember in The Sandlot when he ruins his dad's ball, but at the same time he like gets a bunch of other balls and he's super into baseball. So like his dad, or it's his stepdad or something, right, is like mad but also kind of proud at the same time that like he got into some trouble and was in baseball. So it could be a situation like that with the Emperor, where like, he's mad, he's upset because he blew up his his new Corvette, the Death Star kind of thing, but at the same time he's really proud of Darth because he overcame his fears, got in the batter's box.
How powerful he was, really.
Yeah, and he showed how powerful. His apprentice is super powerful, can really hit those balls. So I don't know. I would like to see maybe a spinoff that covered that whole
his
fiasco.
minor league career.
Yeah, right. But we'll see how it all plays out.
Well, we have our old sponsor. Oh, you just said the money gift. That's a good one.
The money gift.
Our old sponsor, Bantha Jerky. Boy, we had a lot of nights where we just mowed on Bantha Jerky because it tastes like shit, but it's food. And
it's food.
10 grams of protein, 70 calories, 96% fat free. Man. And then, of course, we got our state-of-the-art Bantha Jerky t-shirts, which are actually real. You can go down and click the link in the description and buy one of these.
You can really buy
premium, real Bantha. So
yeah,
you know it's good.
And the reason why we were, chewing on these all night is they do taste like leather, and it chews that way. And so one piece could last you multiple days.
A long time. Very long. Too long, probably.
Yeah, it's a bit painful. I take mine out. I put it in a Ziploc. I save it for later. I come back to it over time because I know otherwise my jaw just gets sore. I can't even talk later on.
Makes sense.
But still, they are a sponsor, so we continue to buy it. And even though essentially one package will last you a lifetime, but
that's true.
This
is when we had the bomb race. We had the that's right, the bomb race. This
was the dynamite race based on
where we were racing. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
what was that for?
This was for Squid Game. So it was this was the game.
That's right.
Yep, and it was the first one to detonate it. I'm sorry, no, it was the first one had to defuse the bomb,
defuse it, and then the other one exploded.
Yep, the other one would blow up, but then I tried to defuse it. And I accidentally pulled the wrong cord out. I thought I beat you. I thought I bested you. And instead I blew up and lost. And you won the money.
He's picking his nose off screen there, probably.
Yeah. Well, just I like to do blow while I'm doing these videos. And, what can you do? Sometimes you get a runner when you do that. You guys know that. You guys are all doing blow too.
You guys get it.
Get out of here with that.
I think we're running over 2 hours. I think that's it for us for tonight. Just a final thank you again to our patrons, all of our Nerd Level 1, 2, and 3 supporters. And of course, our council member, our good friend Jeremy over at Templar.
Love you so much, buddy.
Love you guys so much. Thank you for all the support. We appreciate it more than you know. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can go down, click the link in the description. We've been saying it for a long time, but we've got a lot of things planned. We are building a YouTube studio in my basement, and we are going to hopefully soon be pumping out content. We will always be live on Tuesday nights. But
We're
we're
gonna
gonna
be
have more
pumping you
instant
guys
reaction
so full of
videos. We're
content,
pumping you
so
so full,
like
so
a
full,
Christmas stocking.
so full like a Christmas stocking, guys. So much content. But
You guys are gonna be so full of our content. Oh my god!
all right. Well, thanks
All
so
right.
much. That's it for us, guys. We'll see you next week.